Chapter 547. That black flowing light was like an angry dragon or a shooting star. A lot of people there did not even have the time to react before they saw Yuan Hao throwing out a spear attack toward Yi Chen. It was an unexpected attack, as if it was meant to catch people off guard. With just a little bit of carelessness, one would be at a huge disadvantage, or even be wounded badly. Despicable. Wang Shi and Yang Kuei were both furious. Yi Chen did not have the time to stand up. His right hand reached toward his waist and took out his gold sword. The sword tore apart the air, clashing with the spear tip. Chin. Sparks flew everywhere as the chair Yi Chen was sitting on turned into dust. Chem. This sword intent. Yuan Hao wanted to embarrass Yi Chen, since he could tell that Yi Chen was only at peak level early seas of Soul's realm. Even if he could fight beyond his cultivation, it would not be that crazy. But his cultivation had already reached peak level mid-seas of Soul's realm, and his martial spirit had reached peak level rank 3 as well. That unexpected spear attack should be able to make Yi Chen look quite bad. But that sword attack just now contained a normal Jin Yuan, but the sword intent was extra powerful. It had shattered the martial intent that he had infused into his attack. Demon Monument Fist. After that spear attack, Yuan Hao's left hand left the spear body as he flipped his wrist, grabbing a huge black Jin Yuan stone tablet and smashing it down, trying to suppress Yi Chen. Shoo. The black Jin Yuan stone tablet had not fully materialized yet when a beam of sword chi flashed past, cutting the stone tablet in half. After cutting the stone tablet open, Yi Chen lifted his head to look at Yuan Hao. The latter had missed 2 attacks, so he used the power of the chi explosion to fly out dozens of meters into the air. That rich brown chi spread out from his body and eventually gathered on the tip of his spear. That spear light suddenly shot out from the tip of the spear, stretching and stretching like a snake's tongue, giving people an endless feeling of fear. No wonder you are so arrogant. You do have some power. But it is still not enough. Looking down at Yi Chen, a cruel smile appeared on Yuan Hao's face. Use your demonification ability. Otherwise, the situation will be very ugly. Pointing the gold sword at the ground, Yi Chen sounded very calm. It was this calm tone that made Yuan Hao's veins pop out on his forehead. An ant asking him to use all of his power? Nothing was more ridiculous and infuriating than this. Many of the experts from the Yuan family were also full of disdain. In their eyes, Yi Chen was no different from a clown. Soon, he would know what humiliation was. He really doesn't know what's good for him. Big brother, remember to count my share as well. Teach him an unforgettable lesson. With the wedding paused, the angriest person would be Yuan Yi. Right now, what he wanted to see the most was Yi Chen being stepped on. Yuan Hao sneered and passed on a message, "Don't worry, I will let him know the consequences of going against the Yuan family. Of course, it is a rare opportunity. Beating him instantly would be too boring. Hee hee. It seems like this brat is going to be unlucky. Yuan Hao and Yuan Yi have always been cruel and brutal. Messing with them would hurt both physically and mentally. Yuan Hao is already 35 or 36 years old after all. He has reached his peak in almost every aspect. Those who are younger than 30 would have to go to the Sky Martial region to find them. Basically, everyone there did not think that Yi Chen would win. Even the masters of the Jiyulan Martial School were shaking their heads and frowning. Shoo. Just as everyone was discussing, Yuan Hao's body flashed like a brown lightning bolt. He appeared on the right side of Yi Chen within a second, throwing out a spear attack. Yi Chen backed out while his gold sword shone with a sword light. Do you think you can escape? Yuan Hao's spear aura changed along with Yi Chen's position. The long black spear had only swept out halfway before stabbing out again, chasing after Yi Chen who was backing out. Yi Chen sneered. His whole body turned into a sword light, moving forward instead of backing out. He stuck close to the long black spear and arrived in front of Yuan Hao, throwing out a sword attack. What kind of step art is this? Yuan Hao was shocked, throwing out a punch at the gold sword. Chin. Bright sparks appeared as Yuan Hao dragged his long spear and backed out continuously. Such a horrifying sword power. Yuan Hao was wearing gloves, but his entire left arm had gone numb. Shoo. Yi Chen caught up with him and threw out a sword attack. This sword attack contained his profound sword movement, amaranthine nature. The sword power was endless, and in front of the tip of the sword, circles of vacuum halo appeared. It was a sign that the sword speed was so fast that the air had been pierced through continuously. Piss off! Yu Wenhao roared as he lifted up the long black spear with his right hand and waved it out heavily. Swoosh! Although the power of amaranthine nature was not as powerful as the gold resonant radiance attack, judging from the technique, it was definitely more powerful. Once the sword attack was thrown out, it would be very hard to defend against. The gold sword brushed past the long black spear, bringing up a bright spark. The sword attack landed on Yu Wenhao's shoulder, and the sword light went right through. The trajectory is off. Yi Chen frowned slightly. That sword attack was supposed to pierce through Yu Wenhao's chest, but since the latter did not plan to go easy on him, he would naturally not go easy on him either. He would pierce through his chest and make him bedridden for a couple of months. The wound on his shoulder had shocked Yu Wenhao a bit. He had not expected that he would be wounded like this, especially by a young man who was 10 years younger than him. Not only was Yu Wenhao shocked, everyone present was also a bit shocked. Impressive. That sword attack was not that powerful in terms of power, it could only be considered normal. But, it was able to increase its speed during the attack, making it even faster than it actually was. A few of them had seen through the mystery of that sword attack, so they praised in their minds. Bastard! Yu Wenhao's eyes turned red as he was about to fight back. Dang! Taking out the gold sword, Yi Chen knocked on the bottom half of the long black spear. He then used his power to make Yu Wenhao's right arm go numb as well. The long spear flew out of his hand and turned into a shooting star, shooting through all of the buildings in the distance before finally stabbing into an inner mountain. I told you to use your demonization power as soon as possible. After kicking away Yu Wenhao, Yi Chen stood in the air. Pooh! Yu Wenhao kept puking out blood. The wound on his shoulder had shattered his protective Jin Yuan layer within a second. That kick from Yi Chen had even cracked his chest bone. Yi Chen, this brat. He had been hiding his power when he was fighting with me. Murong Wu, who was on the ground, had a smile on his face. Murong Jishui said, he had told me that if he used all of his power, you would not be able to take 10 attacks from him. 10 attacks. So powerful. Murong Wu was a bit surprised. It should be true. Looking back at the time of his rise, have I ever seen him lose? That is true. But, Yu Wenhao had not used his demonization power yet. I wonder how much more powerful he would be after partial demonization. Cough. Puking out another mouthful of blood, Yu Wenhao looked at Yi Chen with hatred. Very good. You managed to wound me. It has been a long time since I last got wounded. Yi Chen said lightly, do you still want to continue? Do you think you have won? What a joke. Next, I will show you what it means to pay you back in double. Yu Wenhao groaned. His body tensed up all of a sudden, and waves of black qi could be seen coming out of his arms. Both of his arms seemed to be burning with a black flame. Both arms demonize. No, right chest demonized as well. Murong Jishui's pupils shrank. His opponent was indeed one of the top young warriors of the Yuan family. In terms of demonization, he was even more powerful than him. It was only his control that was weaker than him, since he was a master level C of Soul's Realm warrior after all. With both arms and right chest demonized, Yu Wenhao's qi had increased by more than 30%. His right arm's attacking power had increased by 40 to 50%, and his left arm had also increased by 30%. All of a sudden, the whole sky had been dyed black. It was an endless darkness that even devoured the sunlight. Your demonization speed is too slow. There was no reason for Yi Chen to just watch his opponent demonize. He straightened his gold sword and a crescent-shaped sword qi swept out, cutting off half of the clouds in the sky. As for Yu Wenhao, he was blown miles away by the sword qi, breaking a mountain. Little brat Yi, is this the fairness you seek? Yu Wenjin's eyebrows twitched as he stared at Yi Chen angrily. Wang Shi sneered, Headmaster Yuan, earlier, when your son attacked Yi Chen unexpectedly, why didn't you say anything? Now, it is your son's turn, and you are trying to talk about fairness. Even if you don't feel ashamed, I feel ashamed for you. Wang Shi, shut up. What kind of attitude is this? Before Yuan Jin could say anything, Yao Ifeng stared at Wang Shi with a displeased expression. Yang Kuei and Wang Shi had the best relationship, so he argued back, second leader, what did Brother Wang say wrong? You cannot speak for an outsider. Yao Ifeng said coldly, Yi Chen has caused so much trouble and brought shame to our Dragon God Heaven Palace. From now on, you are not allowed to speak for him. Otherwise, you will be punished according to the palace rules. Hearing him, Wang Shi and Yang Kuei were both furious. The two exchanged a look and made up their minds. Boom! The mountain exploded, and Yuan Hao rushed out with blood dripping from the corner of his mouth. As the eldest son of the headmaster of the Yuan family, Yuan Hao had 3 top-rank defensive items on him, 1 chest armor and 2 arm guards. That sword attack from Yi Chen was very powerful, but it did not break through his defensive items. It had only wounded him a little bit, and after his body demonized, it was still within his bearable range. Damn it! You will regret what you have done. Demon Gold Flash. Yuan Hao reached out his right hand, and 3 inches away from his palm, a couple meters big dark gold light ball appeared. It spun at an extremely fast speed before being compressed into the size of a fist. The super dense Jin Yuan vibration had messed up the natural Yuan Qi in the air, and thunder and lightning interweaved in the sky. It is the Demon Gold Flash. Alright, I will wound him badly with 1 attack. Yuan Jin and Yuan Yi's eyes brightened. The Demon Gold Flash was one of the most commonly used martial arts of the demons. The principle was to concentrate the demon power to a high degree and then release it in the shape of a ray. The powerful power could pierce through the ground within a second, and warriors of the same realm would not be able to handle it at all. The reason why the demons' martial arts were so powerful was because of the powerful bodies of the demons. Only with a powerful body could they perform the extremely demanding martial arts of the demons. Normally, a human demon would have to demonize 3 parts of their body before they could perform the Demon Gold Flash that was compressed with Zhen Yuan. Of course, normal demons did not have the martial arts of the demons, so no matter how many parts they had demonized, it would be useless. It was the advantage of the Yuan family. Fall now. Yuan Hao pushed out his Zhen Yuan, and the dark gold light ball shot out like a dark gold ray. Its speed was unbelievably fast. Wherever the dark gold ray went, the space pattern would be squeezed together, which was an extremely horrifying scene. Not good. It is the martial arts of the demons. Murongji Shirei could not help but stand up, looking at Yi Chen nervously. Chapter 548. This attack is quite powerful. It has displayed its attacking power to its fullest. Yi Chen could tell with a single glance that the Demon Gold Flash was an attack that focused on attacking power. There was nothing special about it, it only had a horrifying destructive power. Perhaps it was lacking in attacking techniques, or rather, it did not have any attacking techniques at all. It was only a straight line of destruction. But, its speed had made up for that. Hundreds of meters of distance was no different from dozens of meters, it could be covered within a flash. There was only one way to avoid the Demon Gold Flash, and that was to avoid it with his shocking speed. If he were to be scratched even a little bit, he would die a horrible death. With my speed, it would be a bit hard to avoid it. My sword light flying spell also needs a certain amount of time to activate. Plus, it would require me to take off my protective Jin Yuan layer, so my external defense would be close to 0. Once I am hit, the consequences would be even more severe. It seems like I will have to expose some of my power. With that thought in mind, Yi Chen's eyes suddenly turned sharp. Without backing out, he held his gold sword with both of his hands and waved it down. Almost at the same moment when Yi Chen waved out his gold sword, the dark gold ray appeared 10 meters in front of Yi Chen in a flash. Then, it was blocked out by a sword light that was almost completely golden in color. That sword light was not still, but vibrating. Each blink of an eye, it would vibrate for more than 2,000 times. There was no sound. The second the golden sword light and the dark gold ray clashed, the whole world went silent. Within a radius of dozens of miles, no sound could be heard at all. Everything had been shattered by the vibrating air, disappearing into nothingness. Without a sound, some of the buildings of the Yuan family down below started to crumble, turning into dust like sand. The good thing was that the location of the battle was high enough, otherwise, the area of destruction would be even bigger. Boom. The silence lasted for about 3 blinks of an eye. After 3 blinks of an eye, a huge ball of light flashed, making the sun in the sky seem dimmer. Within thousands of miles, the sea of clouds directly evaporated, and a cloudless and sunny scene appeared. Right then, the chi flow explosion was not over yet. The second the flash weakened, a circle of knife-like dark gold pattern spread out. Wherever the pattern reached, as long as it was higher than the height of the pattern, it would all be sliced off, leaving behind a smooth surface. Pooh. Yuan Hao did not have the power to fight back at all. He was blown away by the dark gold ripple. His top-rank chest armor and arm guards were making creaking noises, as if they were going to shatter at any second. That sharp shockwave even traveled through the defensive treasures into his body, making him puke out a lot of blood. The shockwave is so powerful. Everyone watched as Yuan Hao was sent flying, and they all sucked in a breath of cold air. Normally, shockwaves wouldn't be able to hurt the combatants. After all, the shockwaves would spread out in all directions, and once they spread out, their power would quickly decrease, unless they were at the center of the shockwave. However, Yuan Hao was hundreds of meters away from the center of the shockwave. By the way, Yi Chen is only 10 meters away from the site of the explosion. I wonder how he is doing. His injuries are probably worse than Yuan Hao's. Most likely. A lot of people curiously looked at where Yi Chen was. In the sky, the flashes continued, but compared to before, they were 100 times weaker. Through the flashes, they could vaguely see a figure inside. It is so close. He must be badly wounded. Seeing that, Yuan Yi and Yuan Jin both thought that Yi Chen had taken in all of the shockwave. At such a close distance, even if he was at late sea of Soul's realm, his protective Jin Yuan would not be able to handle it. Plus, Yi Chen was only at peak level early sea of Soul's realm. Yi Chen will be okay, right? Murong Wu said worriedly. Murong Jishui did not say anything as he stared at the flashes without blinking. Pop! The flashes disappeared, revealing Yi Chen's body. Yi Chen maintained the posture of waving his sword. On top of the gold sword, there was still a trace of dark gold chi surrounding it, spreading out to the sides. He did not puke blood. Yuan Yi was shocked. No need to rush. Some of the more serious wounds would not be visible from the outside. Yuan Jin frowned. He did not believe that Yi Chen would be completely fine. Woo. Letting out a long breath, Yi Chen's body relaxed. His gold sword pointed at the ground as he looked down at the crowd. Eventually, his gaze locked onto Yuan Jin and his son. Yuan Hao has lost. Can you take out the spell on her now? Yi Chen was talking about Murong Qingcheng. She is really not wounded. Yuan Jin and his son looked very bad. At the same time, they were secretly shocked by Yi Chen's power. Although Yuan Hao was not as powerful as Yuan Yi, he was definitely one of the top spirit warriors. Even if he ran into some of the weaker master-level C of Soul's Realm warriors, he would still be able to survive. Yuan Yi was more powerful than him in terms of martial arts and his perfect demi-demon bloodline. Hurry! Bring Hao back! Yuan Jin ordered one of the powerful warriors of the Yuan family, then said to Yi Chen with a low voice, I do not know what you are talking about. Yi and Lady Qingcheng are both willing. This marriage is not a problem at all. Otherwise, she would not come to our Yuan family. My daughter and your son are both willing. What kind of joke is this? They did not even know each other before, did they? Murong Jishui said angrily. Yuan Jin stared at Murong Jishui coldly. The relationship between a man and a woman would not be limited by time. Murong Jishui, you do not want your daughter to marry into our Yuan family because of what happened back then. I will tell you again, our Yuan family did not force her. You separating from her is something between the two of you, and it has nothing to do with our Yuan family. Whether it has anything to do with me or not, I know it very well. But now, please let my daughter go back to normal. Otherwise, do not blame me for being rude. Mentioning his first girlfriend, Murong Jishui was a bit emotional as he said with a cold look in his eyes. Yuan Jin was not angry at all as he said lightly, yes, we did do something to your daughter. But, It was because we did not want her to be affected by you. Everyone here has a family, so you should know how a father affects his daughter. For my son's happiness, we had to do this. You restricted my daughter, and you still think you are right? Let me ask you again, will you take off the spell or not? Murongji Shui stood up. I suggest that you do not do anything reckless. This is the Yuan family, and you are a member of the demi-demon family. You better watch your words and behavior. Otherwise, I would not mind locking you up in the Yuan family for you to reflect on. Uncle, do not do anything reckless. Let me take care of this. Yi Chen passed on his Jin Yuan to Murongji Shui. Murongji Shui tried his best to take a couple of deep breaths before sitting down with anger. He knew that even if he made a scene, it would only make things worse, and it would only benefit the Yuan family. Right now, he could only rely on Yi Chen and Yi Chen's background. It seems like this is very complicated. We will just watch the show. Who cares who is right or wrong? Everyone on the scene sat there casually, drinking tea while chatting. For them, it did not matter who was right or wrong. His body slowly landed as Yi Chen stood in the middle of the plaza. He said with a cold voice, I will say it again. Take off the spell on her. This is our Yuan family's business. You do not have the right to interfere. Plus, she is destined to be my wife. If you dare to stand in my way again, I will not guarantee that I will not do anything. Yuan Yi looked at Yi Chen provocatively. The threat was obvious. Lifting up his gold sword slowly, Yi Chen said lightly, What kind of dog thing do you think you are? You only know how to use this kind of dirty tricks. How dare you call me a dog thing? Yuan Yi was furious. Yuan Jin's face darkened as well. Yi Chen calling Yuan Yi a dog thing was the same as insulting him and the whole Yuan family. How dare you? Kneel down and apologize. Otherwise, you will not be able to walk out of the Yuan family today. Dozens of Yuan family warriors stood out, their chi power almost exploding out. You are the one who is presumptuous. Yi Chen is a martial genius that the leader of the Dragon God Heaven Palace has chosen. You dare to ask him to kneel down? Do you not want to live anymore? Wang Shi and Yang Kuei stood up together. He dares to bully our Yuan family. How are we going to deal with this? Even if he does not kneel down, he will have to apologize to the whole Yuan family. Yes, he has to apologize. One by one. Don't even think about leaving without apologizing. Our Yuan family is not that easy to bully. Apologize. What are you apologizing for? You should be lucky that I did not ask you to apologize to my brother disciple Yi. Yang Kuei said without a care in the world. Headmaster. Right then, that Yuan family warrior who had been sent out flew back with the badly wounded Yuan Hao on his back. Yuan Jin glanced at the unconscious Yuan Hao, and his face darkened even more. Yi Chen, you have wounded my son badly. This will not end easily. Right now, I will give you one chance. Leave the Yuan family immediately. Otherwise, you will have to bear the consequences. I can leave. But before that, I will undo the spell on her first. That is impossible. Yuan Jin rejected without hesitation. If it is impossible, then what else is there to talk about? I think this marriage was forced by your Yuan family. Brother Yi, take her and leave. Whoever dares to stop you will be going against our Dragon God Heaven Palace. Wang Shi and Yang Kuei were helping him from the back. You two, shut up. Yao Ifeng was furious. These two had helped Yi Chen time and time again, and did not even put him in their eyes. His heavy chi covered the two immediately. I respect you as the second leader. But, if you do things unfairly, then we will not listen to you. You will not listen to me? Yao Ifeng squinted his eyes, looking very dangerous. Father, let me fight with him. If I win, then he will have nothing to say. Yuan Yi could not help but suggest. Yuan Jin hesitated. Are you 100% sure? He had already noticed that Wang Shi and Yang Kuei were obviously supporting Yi Chen. As long as they were there, the Yuan family would not dare to do anything to Yi Chen, and the wedding would not be able to continue. But, Yi Chen's power had shocked him quite a bit, and he knew that it would not be easy to take on him. Yuan Yi licked his lips and said, Don't worry. I am 120% sure that I can take him on. I will only win, not lose. All right then. Remember, use all of your power. Do not hold back. Chapter 549. Yuan Jin hated Yi Chen to the bone. He had first killed Mo Luo, then messed up the wedding ceremony, and ruined everything for the Yuan family. This hatred would never be forgotten. One day, when the Dragon King passed away, he would let him know what it meant to be worse than death, and what it meant to regret. As for now, he would let Yi Chen get back some interest first. Show mercy. I will not. Murong Qingcheng will only be my woman. Competing with me for a woman, he will have to live under my shadow for the rest of his life. I will attack and humiliate him all the time. Under that endless attack and humiliation, what else can he achieve? Once he has nothing left, I, Yuan Yi, will kill him like killing a dog. With a wicked smile on his face, Yuan Yi, who was wearing a bridegroom outfit, walked out with big steps. He pointed his finger at Yi Chen and said, Yi Chen, do you dare to battle with me? Before, it was your brother Yuan Hao, and now it is you. Do I have to challenge you one by one? Yi Chen said sarcastically. What? You don't dare? If you do not dare, then leave the Yuan family now. From now on, do not appear in front of me, Yuan Yi. Why not? But, what would I get if I win against you? Yuan Yi said, if you win against me, my father will naturally remove the spell on her. On the other hand, if you lose, then this has nothing to do with you. You will leave immediately. Whoever dares to break the promise, the other party can kill them. How about that? Are you satisfied? Yuan Jin, do you agree? Yi Chen looked at Yuan Jin. Yuan Jin said lightly, little Yi's meaning is my meaning. I hope you will not go back on your words. As he spoke, Yi Chen jumped up into the sky. Yuan Yi sneered, flying up as well. Thousands of meters up in the sky, the two of them maintained a distance of 500 meters, facing each other. The biting cold wind blew at their clothes and hair, giving them a trace of killing intent. Yi Chen, be careful of Yuan Yi's special power. Although I do not know what his special power is, but according to the special power awakened by the perfect demi-demon bloodline in the history of the demi-demons, it might be something related to speed or defense. These two are the most common and practical ones. Down below, Murong Jishui passed on his Jin Yuan to tell Yi Chen to be careful. Yi Chen replied without batting an eyelid, don't worry, uncle. No matter what his talent is, I will defeat him. If it were before he had trained his void-shattering finger art to 50%, Yi Chen would indeed be afraid of Yuan Yi's special power. But now, he did not need to be afraid at all. All he needed to do was to be cautious, since no special power would be able to increase one's power to such a ridiculous level. Being able to increase it by 1-fold would already be the best it could be. On the other hand, his void-shattering finger could easily break through the protective Jin Yuan of experts of the same level when he had only comprehended a tiny bit of it. The only thing lacking was its lethality. Right now, his void-shattering finger was more than 100 times stronger than before. It could be said that the protective Jin Yuan of Sea of Soul Realm experts was no different from a piece of paper in front of his void-shattering finger. Its lethality was even more incomparable. So confident. Murong Jishui had never seen Yi Chen's void-shattering finger art before, so he did not know where he got his confidence from. But of course, it would be great if he was confident. Are you ready? Yuan Yi looked at Yi Chen with confidence. We can start anytime. Yi Chen placed his right hand on his gold sword. Pap, pap, pap. The two had not even exchanged blows yet, but their aggressive auras had already clashed together, bringing up countless air swirls. Once one reached the Sea of Soul's realm, the aura would no longer be something intangible. Because of the martial will contained within, its attacking power would be quite powerful. It would be able to wound astral-reaching realm warriors badly. Of course, the aura did not have a physical shape, and was only a mental attack. Therefore, it would not be as powerful as the attacks between astral-reaching realm warriors. But, it was still quite shocking. Boom. The last wave of aura attacks seemed to be the two using all of their power. A circle of transparent pattern spread out, changing the color of the sky. Rank 4 Martial Spirit, Yi Chen had tested out the rank of Yuan Yi's martial spirit. It was rank 4, which was equivalent to master level, which was a lot more powerful than Yuan Hao. Added with his peak level mid-sea of Soul's Realm cultivation, it was extremely powerful. No wonder he was so confident. Yi Chen's martial spirit has reached rank 4? A joyful expression flashed past Yuan Jin's face as he thought to himself, it seems like letting Yi travel in the Sky Martial region for 1 year was the right decision. Within 1 year, his martial will had already started to shine, and his martial spirit had reached rank 4. But this brat's aura is no weaker than Yi Chen's. His sword spirit should be at least at peak level rank 4. It was impossible for Yuan Jin not to know that Yi Chen's cultivation was at peak level early sea of Soul's Realm. To be able to compete with Yi Chen's aura, his sword spirit must be at least half a rank higher. Plus, using his sword intent to attack had made up for the disadvantage of his cultivation. If I have guessed it right, your sword spirit should be at peak level rank 4, right? Yuan Yi was a bit surprised. So what? It was just a test, so Yi Chen did not use his slaughter sword intent. His aura contained the destruction sword intent that had not been combined yet, which was at peak level rank 4. Very good. It will be more interesting to beat you like this. Yuan Yi had just returned from the Sky Martial region not too long ago. Back there, he had been beaten by a lot of young warriors with peak level rank 4 martial spirits or sword spirits. Plus, those young warriors were different from Yi Chen, they were all very powerful. Even with his talent, he could not do anything about it. So, he had been frustrated for a long time. And now, Yi Chen's sword spirit was also at peak level rank 4, which gave him another reason to humiliate Yi Chen and vent his anger. Water Beast Cage. Trap him. Yuan Yi groaned as both of his hands formed a spell at an extremely high speed. All of a sudden, a shocking amount of water yuan qi gathered from all directions, attaching onto the cage that was formed from Jin Yuan. This cage was pushed by the water profound and formed quickly. Judging from its shape, it seemed to be even more powerful than the Iron Palm Master's fire cage. But, the Iron Palm Master was a master level C of Soul's Realm warrior, so his profound comprehension and control would be even more powerful. With a clank, the cage descended from the sky, trapping Yi Chen inside. You want to trap me? Yi Chen took out his gold sword and threw out a sword attack onto the cage. Crack. The cage was broken with a loud noise. Yuan Yi was not in a hurry as he said with a creepy voice, it is not over yet. The final form. The broken cage was repaired at an extreme speed. At the same time, a toad-like Jin Yuan water beast appeared on top of the cage. With the toad-like water beast's help, the surface of the cage shone with a green light, looking like it was made from solid crystals. Chem. Mid-rank profound sense martial art. Yi Chen finally understood. No wonder it was even more powerful than the Iron Palm Master's fire cage. It turned out to be a mid-rank profound sense martial art. However, his opponent's understanding of the profound sense of water was not that impressive. It seemed like he could only perform 30% of this profound sense martial art. Break. Jin Yuan vibrated as Yi Chen performed his gold resonant radiance sword art. Chin. The sturdiness of the water beast cage was not as powerful as the Iron Palm Master's fire cage after all. Under Yi Chen's most powerful sword attack, it was shattered into pieces. Killing water fist art. Yuan Yi had never thought about using the water beast cage to trap Yi Chen completely. After all, his achievement in it was not that high yet, so it could only be used to gain an advantage for himself. But now that his goal had been achieved, he roared as a circle of black pattern appeared on his right fist. It covered half of the sky, turning that area into a world of water. He threw out a heavy punch toward Yi Chen, who had already used up all of his previous power. Reverse Sky Thunder Cut. Yi Chen held his green long sword with his left hand and threw out a sword attack. Bang! The power of the killing water fist art was extremely powerful. Yi Chen was blown away. But, he had used his slaughter sword intent for this sword attack, so he was not wounded at all. Down. That fist attack had gotten him a bigger advantage, so Yuan Yi chased after him. His body kept flashing, and his speed was extremely fast, no slower than Yi Chen's. He then threw out one powerful killing water fist art after another. The whole sky was filled with black fist shadows and water patterns. Putting the long sword back into its scabbard, Yi Chen flicked out his 5 fingers on his left hand, shooting out beams of lotus heart sword chi. Because there were so many of them, they formed into a sword chi tornado. With the sheer amount of sword chi, it cancelled out all of Yuan Yi's fist power. What? Finger sword chi? So many. Yuan Yi thought that Yi Chen's most powerful attack would be his gold resonant radiance attack. Therefore, he had used the water beast cage to trap Yi Chen, forcing him to use up his gold resonant radiance attack first so that he would not be able to use it again in a short period of time. But, he did not expect that Yi Chen would also have the sword chi tornado, which was extremely concentrated. Dang! Dang! In that critical moment, Yuan Yi crossed his hands in front of his body and formed a 6-star shield in front of him. The shield looked like a human-sized crystal. It was very thick in the middle, and the 2 sides of the shield extended out in a streamlined shape. It was the defensive profound sense martial art that he was most proud of. The sword chi was endless, suppressing Yuan Yi so much that he could not move at all. All of a sudden, the sword chi tornado disappeared, and a wave of golden sword light rushed over, landing on Yuan Yi's shield. Boom! Like a crystal that had been shattered, the shield was shattered. Right then, Yi Chen was already close to Yuan Yi. Yuan Yi lifted up his head, a creepy light shining in his eyes. I have been waiting for you. My special power, defense enhancement. Compared to Yuan Hao's demonization power, Yuan Yi's speed of performing his special power was extremely fast. 2 sharp horns suddenly grew out of his head. The base of the horns was extremely thick, with a spiral pattern on it. The tip of the horns shone with a cold light. Once they touched the air, a fist-sized vacuum space was created. The second the horns appeared, Yuan Yi's skin and protective Jin Yuan layer had changed. It had turned slightly black, and its thickness had increased by a couple of times. This special power was similar to the demonization power, but it was even more powerful. The strengthening of his defense had increased Yuan Yi's power as well. More importantly, he could now ignore his opponent's attacks, and only needed to attack with all his might. Back out. Yuan Yi threw out his light black fist. It was still the killing water fist art, but its power had been increased by a lot. Space patterns started to appear on the surface of his fist. Yi Chen's well-prepared sword attack had already arrived, and it clashed with his opponent's fist. Dang! A metal exploding sound was heard as the 2 backed out in different directions. But, the difference was that Yuan Yi managed to stop himself from backing out very soon and charged at Yi Chen again. He sneered, after the strengthening of my defense, my endurance has increased, and my attacking speed will be even faster. Oh yeah! The slaughter sword spirit inside Yi Chen's soul ocean let out a sword cry as its slaughter sword intent poured out. Chapter 550. Boom! Yuan Yi's fist had arrived. It was not a big light black fist, but it filled up the whole sky. Even the sunlight had been blocked out as it landed on Yi Chen's head. If this fist landed, even if Yi Chen's defense was twice as powerful, he would still be shocked into a retard. Yi Chen's eyes were cold. His gold sword vibrated at an extremely high frequency as he threw out a sword attack to welcome the incoming attack. The gold resonant radiant sword attack had been trained to 90%, and it could vibrate 2,800 times within a second, which was close to 3,000 times. Once it reached 3,000 times, the gold resonant radiant sword attack would reach the completion level, and its power would definitely be equivalent to the top profound sense martial arts. The gold resonant radiant sword attack was already an extremely powerful profound sense sword attack. Normal profound sense sword attacks would be slightly weaker than it. Woo! The fist and the sword clashed together, and the sound wave that exploded was extremely horrifying. The whole sky seemed to be filled with this metal exploding sound. Because of the loud sound, no one seemed to be able to hear it clearly. Loud sound. It was just that the sound was too loud, and it was beyond their ability to hear it. In the center of the battle, that light black and gold light ball had devoured the 2. The light ball expanded to 100 meters wide, and the air was pushed out like a ball, forming a 1,000 meters wide vacuum ball. One big and one small, the two balls resonated with each other. In the center of the light ball, Yi Chen and Yuan Yi still maintained their attacking posture, their fists and the gold sword clashing together. Boom! The two balls exploded at the same time. The buildings of the Yuan family were shaking, looking like they were about to be destroyed. All of the powerful warriors of the Yuan family worked together to create a massive Jinyuan wall, blocking out the blasting wave. So, it would not affect the buildings of the Yuan family at all. As for the sky above, the shocking sky had been dented, turning into a half-sphere. Endless amounts of wind, fire, thunder, and water leaked out, looking colorful and eye-catching. It was like the end of the world had arrived, and the sky was going to bring down his anger. The two had only clashed for a second before separating. But, just like Yuan Yi had said, after performing his special defensive power, his endurance and attacking speed had increased. He had only backed out for dozens of meters before stepping on the air and shooting toward Yi Chen. Let's see what other tricks you have. Yuan Yi was very clear that the ace attacks could not be performed twice at the same time. This time, Yi Chen had used up his gold resonant radiance attack. If he wanted to perform it again, he would have to wait for the next second, and the next second, his fist would land on Yi Chen's body. Dual sword style. Of course, Yi Chen knew about it. Indeed, the ace-killing attacks would take a certain amount of time to prepare. Normally, the more powerful the killing attack, the longer the preparation time would be. Of course, it would also depend on the warrior's cultivation. If the warrior's cultivation was high enough, then there would not be such a problem, because the higher the cultivation, the more powerful the killing attack would be. Therefore, the preparation time would not be extended. Right now, he was at peak level early C of Soul's Realm, and his gold resonant radiance attack was not weaker than Yuan Yi's killing water fist art. Therefore, the preparation time would be a bit longer than his opponent, which would be his advantage. Therefore, he could not continue to perform his gold resonant radiance attack. But, even without the gold resonant radiance attack, he still had the Sky Thundercut and the reverse Sky Thundercut to form his dual sword style. In terms of power, it would only be slightly weaker than the gold resonant radiance attack. Most importantly, the dual sword style consisted of two attacks, and both of them were way weaker than the gold resonant radiance attack. The preparation time would be very short, and he would be able to perform it before Yuan Yi. Shoo! The sword light, one in the front and the other in the back, intersected and attacked toward Yuan Yi. Chem! Yuan Yi flicked his eyebrows, then sneered as he threw out his fist heavily. He did not think that throwing out two attacks at the same time would be that powerful. Boom! Once his fist touched the intersecting sword light, Yuan Yi immediately felt the two layers of power coming at him in a superimposed way. Because he was in a hurry to beat Yi Chen, his killing water fist art was not at its peak condition yet. Instead, he was at a disadvantage under this intersecting sword attack. He was blown backward, and the big red flower on his chest had been torn apart as well. How is this possible? Two sword attacks superimposed together? How could it be this powerful? Perhaps it was rare to be able to do two things at the same time in the southern regions, but in the whole True Spirit continent, there were still a lot of people who could do it. Back in the Sky Martial region, Yuan Yi had seen a lot of young warriors who could do two things at the same time. But, it was rare for them to do so, because it would not only distract them, but the power of the superimposed attacks would also not be that powerful. Otherwise, everyone would have tried to do it already. He did not expect that Yi Chen's double sword attack would be this powerful. It was almost as powerful as his opponent's gold resonant radiance sword attack. Yi Chen did not have much of an expression on his face. He knew about the power of the double sword attack, and it was not a normal double sword attack. The Sky Thundercut and the reverse Sky Thundercut that he had created were originally from the same source. One was the front, and the other the back. The combination of the front and back was flawless, and its power was not something that could be compared with just two sword attacks superimposed together. After forcing back Yuan Yi with one sword attack, Yi Chen's body flashed like a sword light, shooting toward his opponent's blind spot. Yuan Yi was shocked as he lifted up his left arm. Chin. The gold sword landed on his left arm. So hard. This sword attack of Yi Chen's was about speed, so its power was not as powerful as his ace attacks. But it contained the slaughter sword intent. Added with the amplification of the gold sword, even Master Level C of Soul's Realm Warrior's protective Jinyuan layer might not be able to handle it. When it landed on Yuan Yi's left arm, it was like using a knife to cut through steel. But of course, he also knew that his opponent's protective Jinyuan had used up a lot of his power, which was one of the reasons why he could not hurt Yuan Yi. Yuan Yi was not wounded at all, but the clothes on his left arm had been completely shredded, turning into dust. How is this possible? Yi is at a disadvantage now? Yuan Jin could not believe his eyes as he stared at Yi Chen. Right then, no matter how stupid he was, he knew that Yi Chen had been hiding his power, and Yuan Hao had only forced him to use part of his power. Yi Chen is so powerful. Murong Wu and Murong Zhishirei looked at each other. With Yi Chen's power right now, he was not weaker than the weaker Master Level C of Soul's Realm Warriors. But of course, it was just not weaker. It did not mean that he had the power to battle with Master Level C of Soul's Realm Warriors, since Master Level C of Soul's Realm Warriors were powerful in all aspects. Compared to Master Level C of Soul's Realm Warriors, Yi Chen and Yuan Yi still had some weaknesses. It was the gap between the top Spirit Realm Warriors and Master Level C of Soul's Realm Warriors. TSK. He is already this powerful at peak level early C of Soul's Realm. Once he reaches mid C of Soul's Realm, he would be able to enter the Master Level C of Soul's Realm Warriors, and would not be the weakest one. Being able to enter the Master Level with only mid C of Soul's Realm. This kind of martial geniuses is rare indeed. Yeah, in the 4 regions. Li Xiaoling, one of the candidates for the second leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace in the Eastern region, seems to be close to it. But he is only close. He should not be there yet. There would be 1 or 2 in the Western region and the Northern region. There would not be many in the Sky Marshal region either. There was only 1 region between the Jiyulan region and the Sky Marshal region. Among the people present, a lot of them had been to the Sky Marshal region before, so they knew a lot about the young generation. In the sky, Yuan Yi had a bad look on his face. Although that sword attack from Yi Chen did not hurt him, it had still hurt his left arm. But it was not the physical pain that made him angry. It was the mental attack that he could not handle. I am at peak level mid-C of Soul's Realm, and my martial spirit is at rank 4. Plus, I have the special ability to strengthen my defense. I am powerful in all aspects. Why am I losing? Whether Yuan Yi wanted to admit it or not, it was a fact that he was losing. Shoo. Using the momentum of his left arm being cut down, Yuan Yi backed out quickly. As he did, he lifted up his right hand, and a massive dark gold light ball appeared. Demon Gold Flash. Yi Chen's pupils shrank. Without even thinking, he knew that Yuan Yi's Demon Gold Flash would be even more powerful than Yuan Hao's attack. It would be unbelievably powerful, and it would be hard for him to dodge it. I have to release all of my slaughter sword intent now. Before Yuan Yi performed his special ability, Yi Chen had been using the destruction sword intent, and only then did he use the slaughter sword intent. Its power was around rank 5 normal sword intent. Because of his powerful soul power, the sword intent did not leak out at all. Therefore, no one knew that his slaughter sword spirit had already reached such a realm. If it continued to increase, it would be at peak level rank 5. No matter how good his control was, he would not be able to hide it anymore. Boom! Yuan Yi pushed out his Jinyuan, and the dark gold light ball shot out. It turned into a beam of dark gold light, attacking toward Yi Chen at an extreme speed. Its speed was even faster than Yuan Hao's Demon Gold Flash. The dark gold light beam flashed once before disappearing. That flash of light made the sun in the sky lose its color, turning it into a black and white world. After releasing the Demon Gold Flash, a creepy look flashed through Yuan Yi's face. His special ability was defense strengthening, and his body was extremely powerful. How could he not have trained it before? Compared to Yuan Hao, he was more talented, so his achievement in training it would be much higher as well. If it were not for the fact that he was forced to do so, he would not use it at all. For him, the more ace cards he had, the better it would be. Plus, he thought that he would be able to beat Yi Chen without using it. With the Demon Gold Flash in my hands, Even normal Master Level Sea of Souls Realm warriors would not be able to handle it. They would have to avoid it for a while. To be defeated by this attack, it would be your honor. Next, I will humiliate you and destroy your dignity. Yuan Yi thought to himself coldly. Down below, the Murong Jishui brothers, Wang Shuo, and Yang Kuei could feel their hearts racing as they looked at Yi Chen nervously. Yao Ifeng and Yuan Jin sneered, as if they could already see Yi Chen losing. Woo! Seeing that dark gold light beam approaching, Yi Chen exploded. His long black hair danced in the air as that horrifying slaughter sword intent shot out into the sky. This sword intent had already gone beyond his control, turning the whole place into a bleak, silent world. The sky had a dark red color, which was a sign of great danger and a massacre. Once it appeared, everything in the world would fall into a massacre, and Yi Chen was the embodiment of it. Because of the fact that he could not control the sword intent completely, it was immediately sensed by everyone present. Everyone opened their eyes wide, shocked beyond words. Impossible. This is the King Warrior Sword Intent. Chapter 551. The King Level Sword Intent was the sword intent of a Life and Death Realm warrior, which was a rank 5 sword intent. For a Sea of Souls Realm warrior to form a rank 5 sword spirit and use a rank 5 sword intent, it would only be slightly easier than reaching the Life and Death Realm from the Sea of Souls realm. It was not hard to imagine how much of a commotion it would cause. It's indeed a King Sword intent, but it shouldn't be a King Sword spirit. This King Sword intent contains the slaughter attribute, which can increase the power of the sword intent. But even so, it's still extremely terrifying. His slaughter sword spirit is at least a level 4 slaughter sword spirit. Before, some of the Master Level Sea of Souls Realm warriors were only there to watch the show. But now, all of them had their eyes wide open, their faces full of disbelief. The dark gold light ray was extremely fast. While everyone was thinking about it, it had already arrived in front of Yi Chen. It looked like it could pierce through everything and destroy everything in its path. As for Yi Chen, he had started to accumulate the aura for his gold resonant radiance attack the moment he used all of his slaughter sword intent. Right then, it was done. He held the gold sword with both of his hands and threw out a powerful attack. His expression was calm, but there was still a hint of killing in it. It was as if he was treating it as a normal thing, and he was not affected at all. Swoosh! That sword attack looked normal, containing a bit of gold light. But, once the dark gold light ray touched it, a part of it was destroyed. Once the sword tip landed, the powerful sword power spread out through the sword body, shattering the dark gold light ray completely. It turned into 2 beams of light, shooting toward both sides of Yi Chen. It was as if he was a rock, and the dark gold light ray was the flowing water. When the flowing water touched the rock, it would naturally be separated. However, although the rock did not have any attacking power, Yi Chen did. After his sword had cut open the dark gold light ray, it attacked toward Yuan Yi at a shocking speed. Not good. Yuan Yi had already sensed the danger the moment Yi Chen revealed his ace attack. He was very clear about how powerful the King level sword intent was. Not to mention the fact that Yi Chen was not weak himself. Even if he were a normal Sea of Souls realm warrior, he would not be able to be underestimated. Woo! 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 That light black protective Jin Yuan layer shone with a bright green light. That light looked like it was about to condense into a halo. It added on to Yuan Yi's protective Jin Yuan layer, making it look like it had solidified. With the combination of the two, Yuan Yi's body was impenetrable. Creak! That almost completely golden sword light landed on Yuan Yi's protective Jin Yuan layer, which suddenly cracked like a piece of tempered glass. With that crack as the center, the cracks started to spread out in all directions, and eventually, a huge dent was formed in the middle. The sword light had a lot of hidden power as it kept attacking, trying to break through the protective layer of Jin Yuan and hit Yuan Yi inside. Yuan Yi pushed up his Jin Yuan as well, trying his best to defend. Soon, the sword light disappeared, and Yuan Yi was unharmed. What? Didn't hurt him? Yi Chen was a bit surprised. He had already used all of his power for that sword attack. Even the protective Jin Yuan of a master level Sea of Souls realm warrior could be cut open easily. No matter how powerful Yuan Yi's defense was, it would not be that much more powerful than a master-level Sea of Souls Realm warrior. No. That dark green light. It seems to be the light of a great weapon. Yi Chen squeezed his eyes and released his soul power. Through Yuan Yi's clothes, Yi Chen could see a lot of weapons. There were dark green chest armor, arm guards, wrist guards, fist gloves, leg guards, and even waist guards. There were 6 types of weapons in total. Among them, the fist gloves were the attacking ones, while the rest were all defensive ones. All 6 of them had the same color, and the vibration they gave off was the same as well. It seemed like they were originally a set. It was a complete set. A set of prized artifacts, a perfect set of prized artifact. Yi Chen finally understood why Yuan Yi was able to block out that sword attack. The reason was none other than the fact that he was wearing a full set of weapons. Normally, a full set of weapons would be able to fit all of the weapons on the body. A lot of people would be able to put together a full set of weapons, but it would only be a bit more powerful than the most powerful weapon on the body. Therefore, even if one had a full set of weapons, the increase in attack and defense would still be limited. It would only be a bit more powerful than the most powerful weapon on the body. Meanwhile, the set of items that Yuan Yi had on him was a complete set of items. Their elements matched perfectly, and they all had a deep connection with each other. Wearing all of them on him would be able to activate all of the power of the set of items, allowing all of them to combine perfectly together. Not only was Yi Chen surprised, everyone down below was shocked as well. They could tell that Yi Chen's sword attack was extremely powerful, and Yuan Yi being able to block it out was completely out of their expectation. Yi, have you been to the Treasure Holy Tower and gotten a full set of top-rank weapons? Yuan Jin was very worried before, but right now, all of that was gone, and a joyful expression flashed through his face. After cancelling out that sword light from Yi Chen, Yuan Yi laughed out loud. Yi Chen, you are indeed powerful, forcing me to use my weapons as an advantage. But, you would not have guessed that I have been to the Sky Martial region and gotten a full set of water element weapons from the Treasure Holy Tower. Each one of them is just a normal top-rank weapon, but when combined together, the defensive effect is even more powerful than a semi-extreme rank weapon. Plus, the attacking power has been increased drastically as well, allowing me to reach master level. A full set of water element top-rank weapons. Treasure Holy Tower. Everyone came to a sudden realization and were immediately overwhelmed with shock. A full set of top-rank weapons would be extremely valuable, and its value would be even more powerful than a semi-extreme rank weapon. And the Treasure Holy Tower. They all knew about this place. It was a mysterious palace that had existed for countless years. Different from the normal forbidden places, the tower was not hidden in the surreal space. Instead, it was located at a specific location, and anyone could enter at any time. However, there was a huge restriction on the tower. Only Sea of Souls Realm warriors could enter, and anyone below the Sea of Souls Realm would be killed the second they entered. Even those above the Sea of Souls Realm would not be able to enter. Although Life and Death Realm warriors were powerful, no one had ever heard of anyone being able to break through the restriction of the tower and enter. Besides that, people above 40 years old would not be able to enter either, since this tower had the ability to tell one's age. If one was older than that, he or she would be killed as well. As for what was inside the Treasure Holy Tower, just like its name suggested, it was a holy tower that gathered all the weapons. There were countless of them inside, and it was said that it had something to do with the Treasure River Island in the Star Regional Lake. The two seemed to come from the same source. However, although the Treasure River Island was very attractive, compared to the Treasure Holy Tower, it was like a cottage. The Treasure Holy Tower was one of the reasons why the Sky Martial region was the holy place for all the martial geniuses. With the Treasure Holy Tower, a lot of martial geniuses would go to the Sky Martial region when they reached the Sea of Souls realm. This Yuan Yi had entered the Treasure Holy Tower before, and he managed to bring out a set of top-rank water element weapons. He is so lucky. Unfortunately, I am already more than 40 years old. Otherwise, I would also go in and try my luck. With my master-level Sea of Souls realm power, the chance of me surviving would be huge. Without the age restriction, there would be no chance for us to get in. Back in the medieval era, all the weapons inside would have been cleaned out already, since there would not be an endless amount of weapons inside. That is true. Some of the master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors started to discuss excitedly. Oh no. Yuan Yi actually has a set of top-rank weapons that fit perfectly with each other. Murongji Shui did not look too good. Perhaps, Yi Chen still has some other hidden card. Murong Wu said uncertainly. Murongji Shui said bitterly, he has even revealed his king-level sword intent. What other hidden cards could he have? I can only hope that this Yuan Yi's attacking power would not increase that much. Yi Chen, have a taste of this fist attack of mine. While everyone was discussing, Yuan Yi threw out a killing water fist attack toward Yi Chen. As he threw out that fist attack, an endless dark green light flowed out of his body and was infused into his fist aura. All of a sudden, the fist power increased drastically. Yi Chen did not back out at all as he welcomed it with his gold sword. Boom! The light ball exploded, and the two backed out at the same time. It is only slightly weaker than my attack, and it has the whole set of weapons to cancel it out. Yi Chen frowned. Yuan Yi's attacking power was actually slightly weaker than his, but the latter had a whole set of great items, which would be more than twice as powerful as Yi Chen's. Therefore, Yi Chen's attacks would not be able to put him at a disadvantage at all. Haha, I hope you will not get hit by me. His attacking power was catching up with Yi Chen's, and his defense was way more powerful than Yi Chen's. Yuan Yi was not worried at all. Even if Yi Chen were to attack him, he would not be afraid. As long as he managed to land an attack on Yi Chen, he would lose immediately. It meant that he was born to be unbeatable. Boom, 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 boom. The two continued to exchange attacks, their chi power spreading out everywhere. Murongji Shui and Murong Wu both looked a bit gloomy. Yuan Yi's attacking power had also increased. Although it was not as big as his defense, his attacking power was already very powerful. Now that it had been increased, it would be even more horrifying. Even Yi Chen could not do anything to him. Boom! In the sky, the two separated again. Yi Chen, you will not be able to beat me. Just leave the Yuan family quietly. Otherwise, I will not let you have any face left. Yuan Yi was secretly shocked at Yi Chen's battling technique. During this time, they had exchanged hundreds of attacks, but he had not managed to land a single hit on Yi Chen. Instead, he had been hit by Yi Chen a couple of times. If it were not for his whole set of weapons, even if he was not wounded badly, he would not feel good at all. Plus, activating a whole set of weapons would cost a lot of Jin Yuan. Although his cultivation was higher than Yi Chen's, he might not be able to last until the end. Yi Chen said coldly, "Is this all you have? What? Are you still thinking about it?" Yuan Yi sneered. "Whether or not I am thinking about it, we will know soon enough." Actually, in order to beat Yuan Yi, Yi Chen had two options. One was to take out his semi-extreme rank greatsword, the Thunder Disaster Sword. With it, even if his opponent had a whole set of weapons, he would not be able to handle it. The second option was to perform his void-shattering finger art, which was extremely powerful in breaking through Jin Yuan. It would also be able to break through his opponent's defense. But after thinking about it, he decided that he could not expose his Thunder Disaster Sword. Once he used it, he did not know how many people would want to get their hands on it. It would be troublesome. Although using his void-shattering finger art would expose his most powerful ace attack, it would not cause too much trouble. At most, people would know about it. With that thought in mind, Yi Chen put his gold sword back into its scabbard. He reached out his right index finger and poured his Jin Yuan into it. Woo! That finger of his was extremely long. As the Jin Yuan poured in, the edge of his finger started to have a space pattern. It seemed like even the surreal space could not handle the power of this finger. What kind of finger art is this? Yuan Yi squinted his eyes slightly. His instinct told him that this finger was very dangerous and should not be underestimated. But, after thinking about it for a while, he sneered inwardly. If a whole set of weapons were so easy to break, why would he risk his life to enter the tower? Come on. Watch me shatter your belief. Chapter 552. With a low growl, Yuan Yi's long hair shot up into the sky. The protective Zhen Yuan in front of him started to crystallize, combining the light black and the dark green together perfectly. At the same time, the glove on his right hand lit up with a dark green light pattern. As the pattern lit up, more dark green light poured out of his body and gathered on the glove, ready to be unleashed at any second. After everything was done, Yuan Yi was full of confidence and high spirits. Hundreds of meters in front of him, Yi Chen, whose pupils shone with a silver light, locked onto Yuan Yi. In his eyes, Yuan Yi was no longer Yuan Yi, he was just a coordinate, a target. All he needed to do was to hit the target with one finger attack. It was that simple. In everyone's eyes, Yi Chen's body seemed to have enlarged. It was not a physical change, but a mental change. The mental pressure that Yi Chen performed with his void-shattering finger had made them feel like the whole world was filled with his shadow. The sky started to shake as Yi Chen pointed out his finger. No one could describe how horrifying this finger attack was. Once it was pointed out, the space seemed to have turned into nothingness. Even the space pattern had been sucked in. Once it was pointed out, a huge blue finger appeared in front of Yuan Yi all of a sudden, pressing onto his protective Zhen Yuan. So fast. It is even faster than my demon gold flash. Yuan Yi did not even have the time to throw out a punch, so the only thing he could do was to block out with his arms. Pop! With Yuan Yi as the center, a pattern spread out in all directions. At the same time, the protective Zhen Yuan in front of his body started to shatter, like a piece of clay that had been pressed by a finger. In the next second, the finger had sunk in. That dark green light was like a dying flame under the attack of the blue finger, unable to fight back at all. Without the protection of the dark green light, there was no way Yuan Yi's basic protective Zhen Yuan could block out the power of the void-shattering finger attack. It was instantly shattered, and Feng Yi's right arm went numb without any feeling. His chest felt like it had been struck by lightning, causing him to puke out a huge mouthful of blood. With one attack of the void-shattering finger, Yuan Yi's defense had been broken through without any doubt. The powerful finger force caused everyone to suck in a breath of cold air. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. The protective Zhen Yuan has been strengthened by the defense and the whole set of artifacts. It has already surpassed ordinary Sea of Soul Master level warriors. How could he break through it with one strike? What the hell is the problem? What kind of finger art is this? Yuan Yi was panicking. Before this, he had never thought that he would lose. There had been so many twists and turns in the battle, but every time, he had an ace up his sleeve. Right now, his ace had been used up, but his opponent still had more. The continuous attacks had made his mental state very weak, and he was close to losing his mind. Haha, he really has a trump card. Murong Wu mumbled unconsciously. Murong Jishui was completely stunned. What kind of young warrior was this? Every time his opponent was about to make a comeback, he would beat him down. If it were him, he would not feel good either, not to mention Yuan Yi, who had always been cruel. Ranked first in the Hidden Dragon rank at the age of 18, his name spread across the entire southern region at the age of 21, becoming one of the top 4 young warriors. At the age of 23, he had dominated the whole southern region's young generation. At the age of 24, he had beaten Yuan Yi, who was 1 generation older than him. Is this his hidden power? Murong Jishui had finally understood why this young man had been able to show more and more power since he had risen to the top. It was not only because of his great talent, but also because he knew how to be patient. He would not reveal his ace cards until the critical moment, and he would never be satisfied. No one knew if he still had more ace cards or not. Scary. The young warriors who are living in the same era as him should be worried now. Right then, Murong Jishui had been completely convinced by Yi Chen. It had nothing to do with power or status, but Yi Chen's horrifying mentality and potential. He had a feeling that even if he went up there himself, he might not be able to do anything to Yi Chen. This was an unpredictable young man, like a huge dragon hiding in the abyss. Anyone who dared to challenge him would be torn apart by his claws. Our brother disciple Yi is not just a normal kind of horrifying. Wang Shi and Yang Kuei were both spirit realm experts. The first time they met Yi Chen, he was only a weak astral reaching realm warrior. The second time they met him, his cultivation base was already not that much lower than theirs, and his power was even more powerful than theirs. For no reason at all, the two felt very lucky. They were lucky that they had always treated Yi Chen as their brother disciple, and did not have any other thoughts. Although they did not have any thoughts, it did not mean that they would be indifferent to everything. As the saying goes, a big tree is a good shade. Yi Chen, this little sapling, had already grown up. It was not like they did not get anything in return for befriending Yi Chen. Of course, they did not think of anything in the first place. Yarrow Ifeng is out of luck. Wang Shi glanced at Yarrow Ifeng sympathetically. Speaking of which, as the second leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace, Yarrow Ifeng should have been on good terms with Yi Chen. Unfortunately, for his own benefit, he did not care that Yi Chen was a martial genius that the Dragon King valued. He had tried to make things difficult for him, which had completely pissed him off. It would not take him long to regret his decision. You can do whatever you want, but you can't do anything about it. Yang Kuei sneered. Without noticing Wang Shi and Yang Kuei's weird expressions, Yarrow Ifeng was very annoyed right now. In fact, ever since Yi Chen beat Yuan Hao, he had been feeling uncomfortable. The more powerful Yi Chen was, the more he hated him. It was also because of fear, the fear that Yi Chen would surpass him and take revenge on him. Right now, Yi Chen had beaten Yuan Yi, showing power that was not weaker than normal Sea of Souls Realm Master-level warriors. His annoyance had reached its peak, and killing intent had started to form. Yi Chen, I admit that I was a bit short-sighted. But, if you still want to hate me, then don't blame me. The chance of survival is in your hands. Yarrow Ifeng had a bad look on his face as his eyes flickered. Little Yi was injured. Yuan Jin's mood was just like the situation of the battle. It had been full of twists and turns, and his attitude of being in control of everything had disappeared completely. All that was left was anxiety and anger. If I had known this earlier, I would have stopped him at all costs. Yuan Jin was very regretful. He regretted that he did not pay enough attention to Yi Chen. If he knew that Yi Chen was about to come to the Jiyulan region and the Yuan family, he would have used all of his resources to stop him. Then, the situation would not have turned out like this. It was all because he had underestimated Yi Chen's power. Damn it. Yi cannot lose. Tightening his fists, a sharp light shot out of Yuan Jin's eyes. Wah! Puking out another mouthful of blood, Yuan Yi's face was extremely pale. I have not lost yet. This finger art of yours must have consumed a lot of Jin Yuan. Let's see who can last until the end. After performing his special power, Yuan Yi's body was extremely powerful. The wound that the void-shattering finger art had brought to him would not affect his battling power too much. Plus, at this point, he would not allow himself to fail, since it would be a huge blow to him. Not long ago, he had said that he had 120% chance of winning, and that he would be able to kill Yi Chen like a dog. But now that the situation had turned around, how could he let it go? He could tell that the void-shattering finger art would consume a lot of Jin Yuan. As long as he could last a couple of times, he would be able to beat Yi Chen completely and step on him. That finger attack was just a test. If you choose to continue, then you will have to face a bigger consequence. Yi Chen had thought it through very clearly. Killing Yuan Yi right here would be very troublesome. Therefore, he did not perform his void-shattering finger art to its limit, since he was afraid that he might accidentally cripple or kill Yuan Yi. So, he decided to test his opponent's bottom line first. Without wasting time, Yi Chen pointed out his index finger and performed another void-shattering finger art. Pop! The blue finger broke through the space and was like a deadly finger, easily landing on Yuan Yi's newly formed protective Jin Yuan. The second the blue finger touched his protective Jin Yuan, a deep finger mark appeared on that crystallized layer. The power of this void-shattering finger art was even more powerful than before. The protective Jin Yuan that Yuan Yi had spent a lot of effort to build up had been shattered, and a trace of hatred appeared in his eyes. He hated it so much. Losing to Yi Chen meant that he had completely lost the battle for the woman. If this news got out, how would the others think of him? This kind of blow was driving him crazy. Lose now. Yi Chen did not use his void-shattering finger art. If he used it for the third time, Yuan Yi would die for sure. So, he flashed his body and took out his gold sword, stabbing out. Yi Chen, give our Yuan family some face. Pretend that you have lost the battle. After this, our Yuan family will reward you handsomely. I believe you would not want to turn against our Yuan family completely. Right at the second when Yi Chen's sword was about to pierce into Yuan Yi's body, Yuan Jin passed on his Jin Yuan to Yi Chen. His tone was a bit hurried, but there was also a hint of threat in it. Yi Chen sneered. Now that things had come to this, she still wanted to threaten him. Pushing out his Jin Yuan, Yi Chen stabbed his sword into Yuan Yi's chest. The sword light went through and shot out from his back, covering the whole area in gold. Down below, Murongji Shui took a deep breath. It was finally over. Bastard. Yuan Jin's eyes were red. At this critical moment, he had already let go of his pride and promised to reward his opponent. But, the latter did not give any face to the Yuan family at all. Instead, he had stabbed through Yuan Yi's body, which would at least make him bedridden for a couple of months. Since he does not want to give me face, why should I? Shoo. Yuan Jin shot up into the sky, approaching Yi Chen at an unimaginable speed. Yi Chen, it was only a battle, but you are already so cruel. I will teach you a lesson for the Dragon God Heaven Palace. Piss off now. Old bastard Yuan, you are so shameless. Murongji Shui's eyebrows flicked as an extreme anger flashed through his eyes. The second Yuan Jin moved, he had already chased after him, leaving behind layers of water shadow behind him. How dare you? Go back. The powerful warriors of the Yuan family jumped out, blocking the furious Murongji Shui. The leading warrior was a master-level Sea of Souls realm warrior. He exchanged an attack with Murongji Shui and managed to stop him from saving Yi Chen. Damn! How dare you bully my brother disciple Yi? Wang Shi and Yang Kuei could not stay calm anymore. The two of them moved out together, attacking toward the powerful warriors of the Yuan family. All of a sudden, the plaza of the Yuan family turned into a mess. Chapter 553. As an experienced master-level Sea of Souls realm warrior, Yuan Jin's explosiveness was extremely horrifying. While he was flying, a purple gold light appeared on his body. It was like a dragon or a snake, almost materialized. It carried Yuan Jin's body and shot out, arriving not far away from Yi Chen within a blink of an eye. You brat! Yuan Jin lifted up his palm and attacked toward Yi Chen. Although it was just a normal low-rank profound sense martial art, it was extremely powerful when it landed on Yuan Jin's hand. As he pushed out his palm power, a massive purple gold light palm expanded rapidly, covering the space where Yi Chen and Yi Chen were. One finger shattering void. Yi Chen's pupils shrank. Yuan Jin's palm attack was not weaker than the Iron Palm Master who had appeared on the Treasure River Island. The title of the Iron Palm Master contained the word palm, so naturally, his palm art was the most powerful one. But, Yuan Jin's palm art was not weaker than his, which meant that his overall power might be even more powerful than the Iron Palm Master. Without thinking too much, Yi Chen endured the mountain-shattering palm pressure and stabbed out with his right index finger. Boom! The purple gold light palm and the blue finger clashed together. The two seemed to be mortal enemies as they clashed against each other crazily, bringing up layers after layers of blasting waves. The blasting waves were all different in color. It was purple gold for a second, then blue, then purple and blue. It blew Yuan Yi, who was already wounded badly, a couple of miles away. He puked out a mouthful of blood and fainted right after Yuan Hao. Because Yuan Jin was too angry, he had forgotten about Yuan Yi, which made him even more wounded. At the same time, he hated Yi Chen to the core. His palm power suddenly increased by 30%. The purple gold light palm pushed forward aggressively, shattering the blue finger. Sword light flying spell. Yi Chen was already prepared for it. He took back the Zhen Yuan outside of his body, and waves of sword light shone. With a flash, he flew out 10 miles within a second. Because the power of the purple gold light palm had been cancelled out by the blue finger, its speed had been drastically reduced. It did not manage to catch up with Yi Chen, but did manage to destroy a lot of buildings in the Yuan family. Little brat, Do you really think you are a master level C of Soul's Realm warrior? Yuan Jin's eyes were cold as he locked onto Yi Chen, who was 10 miles away from him. He flicked his fingers, shooting out beams of purple-gold light. These purple-gold light beams contained the profound of gold, and their penetrative power was unparalleled. Countless purple-gold light beams interweaved with each other, causing space ripples to spread out like a giant net. Anyone who fell into the net would be greatly affected, like a flying insect caught in a net. Seeing the huge net that was formed by the purple-gold light, Yi Chen maintained his flying back while using his Lotus Heartsword Chi to defend against it. All of a sudden, one side was the purple-gold net, while the other side was the blue one. The two huge nets clashed together. Pitter-patter, countless beautiful fireworks bloomed, and the sky seemed to be ignited. Seeing this, Yuan Jin's face darkened. Although he was an experienced Master Level C of Soul's Realm warrior, it would still be impossible for him to kill Yi Chen with only one attack. Yi Chen's power was not that important, but that kind of control he had over the battle had shocked even him, not to mention that they were still 10 miles away from each other. I would like to see how you are going to dodge this time. Yuan Jin was ready to use his mid-rank Profound Sense martial arts. Different from Yuan Yi, Yuan Jin's mid-rank Profound Sense martial arts had already reached 80% completion, and was not that far away from completion. With his late C of Soul's Realm cultivation, its power could only be described as horrifying. Taking a deep breath, Yuan Jin's face was covered in purple gold chi. Purple gold represented nobility, but when it appeared on Yuan Jin's face, it added an evil aura. He put his tongue on top of his mouth, and the Zhen Yuan inside his body started to circulate at twice the normal speed. Eventually, it all poured into his right arm, following the meridians of his right arm and reaching the center of his fist. As waves of Zhen Yuan poured in and compressed, Yuan Jin's fist turned into a purple gold color, looking like it was made of pure purple gold, full of horrifying power. Flowing gold godly fist. Yelling, Yuan Jin threw out a punch toward Yi Chen, who was 10 miles away. Boom! The air was blown up all of a sudden, and the space pattern spread out. That purple gold fist power turned into a tornado, shooting out at an extreme speed. Along the way, the fist power started to scatter, turning into countless golden blades that looked like crescent moon. The golden blades were arranged in an orderly manner, forming into a dozens of meters wide hemisphere. Chem. Yi Chen frowned. He could tell that each of those golden blades had the power of a low-rank Profound Sense martial art. With this many of them shooting at him, even a Master Level C of Soul's Realm warrior would have to dodge out of the way. Yi Chen was barely a Master Level C of Soul's Realm warrior, so he naturally would not be able to handle it. Yuan Jin, you are indeed shameless. A human figure suddenly appeared right in front of Yi Chen. It was indeed Murong Jishure. The Yuan family warrior who tried to stop him was only a normal Master Level C of Soul's Realm warrior. Under Murong Jishure's full power attack, he was blown away within 3 attacks. Besides Master Level C of Soul's Realm warriors, who else could stop him? Boom! 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 The golden blades were blocked out by a swirl barrier. Waiting until the last golden blade bounced out, the swirl barrier suddenly disappeared, and Murong Jishure's face looked a bit pale. Time was running out, so Murong Jishure could only perform a low-rank defensive Profound Sense martial art. Facing Yuan Jin's mid-rank Profound Sense martial art, he was still at a disadvantage. But of course, his opponent was still worried about Murong Jishure, so he did not dare to kill him. Otherwise, even Murong Jishure would not be able to handle it. Murong Jishure. Yuan Jin did not look friendly at all. Murong Jishure was still not scared. Yuan Jin, what you have done today will bring a lot of harm to the Yuan family. I hope you know it yourself. This brat had stopped the wedding so many times and wounded 2 of my sons. Why can't I teach him a lesson? But you, how dare you fight against our Yuan family? The demi-demon family does not belong to your Yuan family. Your Yuan family does not have the right to do anything to our Murong family. No matter what you say, it will be useless. This time, I will lock you up in the Yuan family. If you dare to go against me, I will kill you without mercy. Yuan Jin did not dare to kill Yi Chen, But it did not mean that he would not dare to kill Murong Jishure. Killing Murong Jishure would be an internal matter of the demi-demon family, and the dragon god celestial palace would not be able to interfere. Yi Chen flew right next to Murong Jishure, looking straight at Yuan Jin as he said coldly, "Yuan Jin, you are the one who agreed for me to battle with your sons. Am I right? So what? You suddenly attacked me? What is the meaning of this? Do you really think that I am easy to bully? Or should I say, I will not hold you responsible for this? Battling with each other. I did not say anything about wounding the opponent. Don't you think what you have done is cruel?" Yuan Jin's words were flawless, like an old fox who was furious but still calm. Yi Chen sneered, "Sorry, I admit that this was a battle, but not a battle. Since it is a battle, injuries are inevitable. I think it is your Yuan family who cannot afford to lose. Brat Yi, although you are a martial genius favored by the Dragon King, as long as you do not become a life and death realm warrior, you better not be too arrogant." Yuan Jin stared at Yi Chen with an evil look, his eyes containing a powerful mental pressure. Yi Chen ignored the threat. "Arrogant? It seems like only your Yuan family is worthy of this title. You three, father and son, have you never felt that what you have done is arrogant? Presumptuous? Right now, what Yuan Jin hated the most was the fact that the Dragon King favored Yi Chen the most, which led to his hatred toward the Dragon God Celestial Palace. Without the Dragon King and the Dragon God Celestial Palace, killing Yi Chen would be like killing a dog to him. There would be no need for him to spend so much effort to stop them. Martial geniuses die easily. You better be careful. After saying that with a low voice, Yuan Jin flew down toward the plaza. Yi Chen and Murong Jishure exchanged a look before landing down as well. Seeing that Yi Chen had returned, Wang Shi and Yang Kuei both stopped what they were doing. Around them, there were a couple of people who were staring at the two angrily, all of whom were slightly wounded. "Brother Yi, are you all right?" Wang Shi asked. Yi Chen shook his head. "Thank you, brother and sister, for your help. Hehe, we are brother disciples after all." Wang Shi laughed. Right next to him, Yang Kuei spat on the ground. "Pooh, this old dog Yuan is so shameless. His son could not beat you, so he decided to do it himself." Yi Chen looked at Murong Qingcheng with a serious look, then said to Yuan Jin, "Yuan Jin, do you still remember the promise we made before? Right now, let go of Murong Qingcheng's secret spell." "Huh, of course I remember. With so many people here, no matter how shameless Yuan Jin was, he would not go back on his word. Otherwise, within a couple of days, his shameless behavior would be spread all over the Jiyulan region, and even the other regions." Glancing at Yuan Yi, who was still unconscious, Yuan Jin walked behind Murong Qingcheng. He pressed his palm in the air, and countless gold light balls shot into her body. "Ah!" Making a slight noise, Murong Qingcheng regained her consciousness. Lifting up the red silk cloth, Murong Qingcheng saw Murong Jishure and Yi Chen. A joyful expression flashed through her face. "Father, Yi Chen," Murong Jishure said hurriedly, "Qingcheng, they did not do anything to you, did they?" Murong Qingcheng shook her head. "Oh right, where is your mother?" Murong Qingcheng frowned and said, "Before my Jin Yuan and consciousness were sealed, my mother was invited by a woman from the Yuan family." "A woman?" Murong Jishure seemed to have thought of something. Moving her eyes away from her father, Murong Qingcheng looked at Yi Chen. Although her movement and speech had been sealed, she could still hear and feel everything that Yi Chen had done. So, when Yuan Jin attacked Yi Chen, she was very worried, but luckily, nothing happened. Yi Chen smiled at Murong Qingcheng. Just when he was about to say something, a woman's voice was heard, very crisp. "Tishi." From the corner of a building not too far away, two extremely beautiful women walked over together. The one on the left was wearing a dark green long dress, looking very elegant. She was about 38 or 39 years old, and the one on the right was wearing a light yellow dress. Her appearance was no less beautiful than the former, but it was indeed her who had spoken. Seeing the latter, Murong Jishure froze. Yang Shina. He would never forget this woman. This woman used to be the woman he loved the most, and he would occasionally see her in his dreams. Her appearance had changed a little, and her voice had become a lot smoother as well. But he could still recognize her at first glance. Taking a deep breath, Murong Jishure felt very complicated. In front of him, a cold sneer appeared on Yuan Jin's face. Chapter 554. So, this is the first girlfriend that Uncle Murong had mentioned? Yi Chen's eyes landed on the two girls. It was easy for him to tell who Murong Qingqing's mother was, since they were mother and daughter after all. Both their looks and temperament were quite similar, which was something that could not be hidden. After knowing who Murong Qingqing's mother was, the identity of the other girl would be obvious as well. Su Ruhui saw Murong Jishue's expression and made a face. But she did not say anything. She stood together with Murong Qingqing and started to talk in a low voice. It has been so many years. How have you been? For the past 30 years, Murong Jishue had been wanting to say this. Today, he finally had the chance to say it. However, he did not know why he did not want to say it the first time he saw the girl. Saying it out loud was just a subconscious action. The girl named Yang Shina stayed silent for a while before nodding slightly. A bitter smile appeared on Murong Jishue's face. All right, as long as I am doing well. I have no regrets anymore. After separating from you, I was in so much pain until Ruhui appeared in front of me. Hearing Murong Jishue mention her name, Su Ruhui was a bit happy. She pretended that she did not hear anything and continued to talk with Murong Qingqing. Hearing him, Yang Shina felt a bit uneasy for a second. It was this 1 second of uneasiness that had caught Yi Chen's attention. He could see the dissatisfaction, jealousy, and anger in her eyes, which did not match her beautiful appearance at all. Glancing at Murong Jishue, Yi Chen thought to himself, Uncle, I am afraid that your first girlfriend has changed. Sister-in-law, this is your future niece-in-law. Her name is Murong Qingqing. Right then, Yuan Jin suddenly spoke. The reason why he called Yang Shina his sister-in-law was because she had married his second brother, Yuan Xiong. Yuan Xiong was not in the Yuan family right now, as he had gone out for some business. He would only be back in 2 to 3 months. Originally, that would be the day of Yuan Yi's wedding, but it had been brought forward by 3 months. Yang Shina moved her eyes away from Murong Jishue and landed on Murong Qingqing, who was standing next to Su Ruhui. A surprised expression flashed through her face, since it was the first time she had seen Murong Qingqing. She had to admit that this girl's appearance and temperament were extremely rare. There should be people who were as beautiful as her, but she had never seen or heard of anyone who was more beautiful than her. Xianhu might be able to surpass her, but Xianhu was still a life and death realm warrior after all. This was Shisui and his daughter. Yang Shina squeezed her lips, then laughed and said, Brother, Yi is quite lucky to have such a beautiful fiancé. Together with him, they would be a perfect match. As his second aunt, I am happy for him as well. Oh right, why don't we continue with the wedding? Yuan Jin glanced at Murong Jishue. Someone did not agree, so I could not do anything about it. Yi and Hao were wounded as well, and they are still unconscious. Who dares to wound Yi and Hao? Yang Shina flicked her eyebrows. Indeed, it is me. Yi Chen did not need to wait for her to say it out, so he just admitted it himself. Yang Shina glanced at Yi Chen. Do you know that the members of the demi-demon family will not marry outsiders? So, it is impossible for you and her to be together. If you just let it go, it would be good for both sides. Why do you have to break up a couple? Whether they are a couple or not, you should be clear about it. If they are a couple, then no one would be able to break them up. If they are not a couple, then there is no need to break them up, since they were separated in the first place. I was only doing what I was supposed to do. The one who should let it go should be the Yuan family. Yang Shina said lightly, no one is meant to be together. There has to be a process of getting to know each other. Both of them have the perfect demi-demon bloodline, so they will be attracted to each other in the future. But, that is, if you do not come and ruin it. Yi Chen could not help but laugh. This woman was a bit unreasonable. Based on what you have said, a man and a woman would be a couple. On the other hand, breaking up a couple and putting one of them together with another person with a different surname would also make them a couple. So, what you have said is basically nothing. You are quite eloquent. But, you seem to have forgotten that they had already set the wedding date 2 years ago, and you are an outsider. Yi Chen glanced at Murongji Shui. This wedding date was forced by the Yuan family. You should know about it. So, I will not explain it to you. Yang Shina sucked in a deep breath. She had underestimated Yi Chen a bit. This young man was not as simple as he looked. His tone was very calm, but it was sharp like a sword chi. Looking over at Murongji Shui, Yang Shina frowned. Are you still angry about what happened back then? Actually, it is all in the past now. No matter what, it will not go back. If you do not want your daughter to marry into the Yuan family because of this, then you do not have to. Murongji Shui looked a bit surprised, as if he could not believe that these words were coming out of Yang Shina's mouth. Somehow, he seemed to have understood something, so he said, I would not joke about my daughter's happiness. If my daughter and the Yuan family people were in love, then I would not say anything and agree right away. But, if it was forced, then I, as her father, would definitely not just stand there and watch it. You really think so? Yang Shina did not seem to believe him. Murongji Shui said with a clear look, of course. About what happened back then, do you still hate me? Of course, I do, but that kind of feeling has faded away a long time ago. Just like you said, it is all in the past now. No matter what, it will not go back. Plus, Ru Hui and I are living a good life. Losing her would be the most painful thing for me. Therefore, what happened back then has nothing to do with this. Su Ru Hui did not open her mouth the whole time. When the man was talking, the woman would just stand there and watch. Even if the love rival was right in front of her, she would still have to endure it. Hearing Murongji Shui's last sentence, her face lit up. The knot in her heart seemed to have disappeared all of a sudden, and her whole body felt relaxed. All these years, she had always known that there was someone else in Murongji Shui's heart. She had been troubled and frustrated before. This time, she had gone to the Yuan family with her daughter just to see that woman. When she saw her, she secretly compared herself to her and thought that she would not be weaker than her. Right now, after hearing Murongji Shui's words, she also realized that there was indeed someone else in Murongji Shui's heart. But, just like her, it was a knot in his heart. Actually, there was no longer any feelings, only memories. Now that they had seen each other, and both of them had changed, the memories had disappeared naturally, and the knot in his heart had disappeared as well. She knew clearly that from now on, she would be the only one in Murongji Shui's heart. Without any reason, Su Ru Hui was glad that the two of them had met. If they had not met, she did not know how much longer she would have been troubled. Yang Shina's expression suddenly looked a bit bad for no reason at all. No one knew why she was upset, or why she would be upset after hearing one sentence from Murongji Shui. Back in the day, she and Murongji Shui were indeed in love with each other, and it was very sweet until Yuan Xiong fell in love with her. To be honest, she did not dislike Yuan Xiong at all. Therefore, she had been moved once. When she was being pressured by the Yuan family, other than the reluctance to let go of Murongji Shui, there was nothing else. After marrying into the Yuan family, her status had risen drastically. She had been living a pampered life, and after a long time, her mentality had changed. Occasionally, she would hear that Murongji Shui's cultivation had improved drastically after they had parted ways. He was just a slightly talented martial genius, but now, he had grown into a famous martial genius. She was secretly happy about it. The man she used to be, and the man she was with right now, were both very talented. It was her happiness to be fought over by the two of them. This time, she thought that she would be able to see Murongji Shui's unwilling expression, as well as his love for her. But, she was disappointed. Besides the excitement of meeting him for the first time, the rest of his expression was very calm. Hearing that he had already forgotten about what had happened in the past, she could not help but feel angry. This kind of anger was like having her toy taken away by someone else. Her eyes turned cold as she said, "Could you please give me some face and not stop this marriage? Actually, it is a good thing for your daughter to marry into the Yuan family. Only by joining the Yuan family will she be able to get more resources and achieve more. Why do you want my daughter to marry into the Yuan family? Is it because they are the main family of the demi-demon race?" Murongji Shui asked back. Yang Shina froze a bit. Is it not good to marry into the Yuan family? You have changed. Murongji Shui looked at Yang Shina deeply. I do not recognize you anymore. Taking a deep breath, he said with determination, I will not agree to this marriage. My daughter's happiness will be decided by herself. No one can interfere, including myself. You are so stubborn. Yang Shina was a bit annoyed. Yes, I am stubborn. But, as long as my family is happy, what is wrong with being stubborn? I have already begged you like this. Are you really not going to give me any face at all? Just for the sake of what happened in the past? The perfect demi-demon bloodline was very important to the Yuan family. Otherwise, she would not have begged Murongji Shui like this. Murongji Shui's heartlessness had made her hate him. Impossible. Murongji Shui said with certainty. Yang Shina bit on her teeth as she pointed at Yi Chen and said with a cold voice, Murongji Shui, do not forget that the members of the demi-demon family are only allowed to marry within the family. Are you trying to break the rule of the demi-demon family by bringing him here? I do not know about their future. I only know that my daughter does not want to marry into the Yuan family, and no one can force her to do so. Yuan Jin sneered. How do you know that your daughter does not want to marry into the Yuan family? Perhaps you are the mastermind behind this. Just ask right now. Murongji Shui looked a bit gloomy. After he finished talking, he turned his head to look at Murong Qingcheng. Qingcheng, are you willing to marry into the Yuan family, to Yuan Jin's son, Yuan Yi? If not, just say it. They will not do anything to you. Murong Qingcheng was about to say no when Yuan Jin sent a message to her. Little girl, to be honest, I have high hopes for you. Your talent is no weaker than Yi's. If you train it well, you will be able to become a life and death realm warrior in the future. Therefore, marrying into our Yuan family would be the best choice for you. Don't say no yet. Your mother has already been poisoned by the shadowless poison, which you should know about. This kind of poison is invisible and untraceable, and there is no way to find out about it. Naturally, there is no way to cure it. Even life and death realm warriors might not be able to cure it. There is only one antidote. If you say no, I will destroy it right on the spot, and your mother will die because of you. Think about it carefully. Do not disappoint me and your mother. Hearing him, Murong Qingcheng's expression changed drastically. She was shocked and angry. She looked at her mother, then looked at Yi Chen. She seemed to be struggling. At the same time, Yi Chen's expression changed as well. His silver pupils were cold and emotionless. Chapter 555. Yuan Jin, is this how your Yuan family does things? You are indeed unscrupulous. But today, I will not let you get what you want. The Zhen Yuan communication was not something that could be read just by looking at the mouth. Yi Chen had a super powerful soul power, so after analyzing it, he was able to understand what Yuan Jin had said to Murong Qingcheng. He was shocked and angered at the same time. He could not believe that this Yuan Jin would do something like this. Poisoning a member of the demi-demon family. Was he not afraid of causing an internal conflict within the demi-demon family? Damn it. Do you know what I am talking about? Yuan Jin looked at Murong Qingcheng with hatred. He thought that it was Murong Qingcheng who had told Yi Chen about it. Murong Qingcheng was shocked. Her mind was in a mess, and she could not think of telling anyone. Plus, it was about her mother's life after all. Murongji Shui could tell that something was not right, so he asked Yi Chen, what happened? Su Ruhui looked over as well. Yi Chen thought about it and decided to tell the truth. Since it was poison, there must be a way to cure it. He could just ask the Dragon King for help. With his top king level power, this shadowless poison should not be a problem for him. With a dark look on his face, he said, Auntie was poisoned by the Yuan family to threaten Murong Qingcheng. Hearing him, Murongji Shui was so angry that he almost puked out blood. He threw out a palm attack toward Yuan Jin. Old man, you dare to poison Ruhui? Today, it will be either you or me. Boom. Qi flow exploded as Yuan Jin blocked out Murongji Shui's attack. How dare you? Take him down. How dare you? Seeing Murong Jishue attacking their headmaster, all of the powerful warriors of the Yuan family had flames burning in their eyes. They felt that it was not something that could be tolerated, so they wanted to make a move. "Stop!" Su Ruhue yelled out. Waiting until both of them had calmed down a bit, Su Ruhue said with a cold face, "Yuan Jin, I am also a member of the demi-demon family. You poisoning me, do you think it is too much? Also, do not forget that I am a member of the Su family. Although we are not as powerful as your Yuan family, we will not let anyone bully us." Yuan Jin hated Yi Chen to the bone. This poisoning thing could not be brought out in the open. It was exactly because he thought that Murong Qingcheng would not tell the truth that he had used it as a threat. Taking a deep breath, Yuan Jin said slowly, "I did not want to do this, but you are forcing me. If you agree to this marriage, I will hand over the antidote right away. As for the Su family, it seems like you have already been kicked out of your family. I believe they would not go against our Yuan family just because of you. You're despicable." No matter how well-mannered Su Ruhue was, she was still infuriated. Those who want to achieve great things don't bother with trifles. Moreover, their union is the most perfect thing for the demi-demon clan. You guys are so stubborn that you are the scourge of the demi-demon clan. Yuan Jin's voice was cold. "Third brother, let's fight with them." Murong Wu and the 10 powerful warriors from the Murong family had just woken up from their stupor, standing behind the few of them quietly. Murong Jishue suppressed the anger that was burning like a volcano inside him as he said with a low voice, "Yuan Jin, hand over the antidote, and there will still be a chance for us to turn this around. Otherwise, I will not stop until you die. Either you die, or I die." Yuan Jin did not answer Murong Jishue. He turned his head to look at Murong Qingcheng. "Little girl, your mother's life is in your hands. I will ask you one more time. Do you agree or not? If you do not agree, then this only antidote will be gone forever." As he spoke, he took out a white medicine bottle. His palm was shining with a purple gold light. As long as he pushed out his Zhen Yuan, this bottle would be destroyed into nothingness. Su Ruhue said angrily, "Qingcheng, do not agree. Even if you agree, I will not be happy for the rest of my life. Plus, according to what I know, the shadowless poison is not incurable. It's just that the ingredients are hard to find." Sacrificing her daughter's happiness for her own life was something that she could not do. Murong Jishue had a complicated look on his face. He thought about it, but did not say anything. "Father, mother." Murong Qingcheng wanted to say something, but stopped. She seemed to be struggling. Murong Jishue sighed, "Listen to your mother. Do not agree. I do not believe that there is no antidote for this shadowless poison." Then, he yelled at Yuan Jin, "There are so many people here looking at you. Do you think you still have the face? You are the scourge of the demi-demon family. Damn it." Yuan Jin's face twisted a little. Indeed, what he had done would make him a laughingstock for everyone in the Jiyulan region. But, since he had already made it this far, there was no turning back. As long as he handed over the antidote, his reputation would be restored. What a joke. He might as well go all the way, and see who would be the one laughing in the end. The rumors would eventually disappear. "Little girl, do you agree or not?" Crack. The white medicine bottle in Yuan Jin's hand started to crack, seeming like it would shatter at any second. "Do not agree." Su Ruhue stared at Yuan Jin angrily. Tightening the gold sword in his hand, Yi Chen's expression was getting colder and colder. He could not say anything to make Murong Qingcheng say no, since it was related to his mother's life. Of course, no matter how it would end up, Yuan Jin and his son had already been listed as his targets. "Sorry, I will not say yes." Murong Qingcheng bit on her pearly white teeth as she said this. "Good. Good. Good." Yuan Jin said the word good 3 times in a row, and then the white bottle in his hand shattered with a bang, completely turning into nothingness. Yuan Jin. Murong Jishue's eyes were bloodshot. "Gishi." Su Ruhue grabbed onto Murong Jishue. "In the Yuan family, you will not be able to win against them. Anyway, this shadowless poison is not without an antidote. We can think of something when we get back. It would be better than losing our lives here or being locked up." Woo! Woo! Murongji Shui took a couple of deep breaths. His wife was right. It would not be wise to fight with them here, and it would also give the Yuan family an excuse to attack them. Therefore, no matter how angry he was, he would have to hold it in. He would take it out later. Let's go. Murongji Shui stared at Yuan Jin and said to his people. Go. Where do you think you are going? Murongji Shui, you have offended our Yuan family time and time again. Right now, as the headmaster of our Yuan family, I am going to capture you. Little brat Yi, this is our demi-demon family's business. If you dare to make a move, I will not go easy on you. Come. Surround them. The Yuan family had lost a lot of face. Yuan Jin did not even say anything before asking them to leave. It was like a double loss for them. How dare you? Su Ruhui and Murongji Shui yelled at the same time. Why not? Everyone, listen up. Capture Murongji Shui for me. If anyone else dares to move, kill them. With Yuan Jin's order, the powerful warriors of the Yuan family appeared from all directions, surrounding Murongji Shui and his people. Qin. Taking out his gold sword, Yi Chen said, Sorry, but today, you are so stubborn. I will have to fight with your Yuan family. Wang Shi and Yang Kuei stood up. Junior brother Yi, will accompany you. Yuan Jin, you've shown off enough today. Let's see how you explain to our dragon god celestial palace in the future. I'll report everything that happened today in full detail. You have gone too far. Do it. Yuan Jin's 3 corpses were infuriated. He waved his palm. Boom. 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 The whole plaza was in chaos. Dozens of Yuan family warriors attacked the dozens of people on Yi Chen's side. As for the other guests, they had already backed out of the area, watching this scene with interest. Yuan Jin and a Master Level C of Soul's Realm warrior had joined hands to attack Murongji Shui. Judging on power, Yuan Jin was not weaker than Murongji Shui, and was actually slightly more powerful. Together with the other Master Level C of Soul's Realm warrior, they would be able to take down Murongji Shui easily. As for the rest of the people, they would not be an opponent for the Yuan family at all. Meanwhile, Yang Shina was facing Su Ruhui, and they did not see eye to eye with each other. Right then, the Yuan family and the Murong family had turned against each other, so naturally, they were treating each other as enemies. Dang! After blowing away a powerful warrior from the Yuan family with one sword attack, Yi Chen realized that it was not going to be good. If this continued, all the warriors from the Murong family would be killed sooner or later. No choice. I guess I will have to use my Thunder Disaster Sword then. Unless it was absolutely necessary, Yi Chen would not reveal his semi-extreme rank great sword in front of everyone. Right then, he could not care about that anymore. Putting the gold sword back into its scabbard, Yi Chen took out his Thunder Disaster Sword and poured his Jin Yuan into it. The sword body turned into a beam of lightning, stretching and shrinking. Shoo! With one sword attack, a Yuan family warrior's arm fell off as he backed out while screaming. Kill! With the Thunder Disaster Sword in his hand, Yi Chen's battling power increased drastically. He killed his way in and out of the Yuan family warriors, and not a single one of them could stop him. Soon, there were already 4 warriors who had been wounded badly by his sword. It is a semi-extreme rank great sword. Outside of the stage, someone could tell the rank of the sword. It is indeed a semi-extreme rank great sword. This power is so horrifying. Falling into his hands is indeed a waste. I am a Master Level C of Soul's Realm warrior. If I have a semi-extreme rank great sword in my hand, who would be my opponent below the King warriors? I would be able to go anywhere in the world. A lot of people started to get greedy. Although they did not dare to kill Yi Chen, they would still dare to steal the sword secretly, since it was too important for them. Gold Resonant Radiance Sword. Facing the area with the most warriors of the Yuan family, Yi Chen threw out a sword attack, performing his most powerful sword movement, the Gold Resonant Radiance Sword. That thick sword light was like a scythe that was harvesting lives. A row of Yuan family warriors fell down, and no one knew if they were still alive or dead. Those who were closer had also been wounded by the sword light, puking out blood continuously. Fight your way out. Cutting out a gap, Yi Chen yelled to everyone. Bastard! Where did that brat get that semi-extreme rank great sword? In the air, Yuan Jin had sensed the weird situation down there, so he could not help but look down. What he saw made him furious. Dozens of Sea of Souls realm warriors from the Yuan family had been knocked out, and some of the remaining ones were wounded as well. Their battling power had been greatly reduced. On the other side, only 3 to 5 warriors from the Murong family had been wounded, and none of them had been knocked out. Murong Jishirei had also seen the scene down there, and he let out a breath of relief. Normally, only Sea of Souls realm warriors would be able to join in the battle. Therefore, no matter how many warriors there were in the Yuan family, most of them would not be able to make a difference. Once one reached the life and death realm, one warrior's power would be able to fight against a super martial school or family. Chapter 556. Murong Jishirei, don't even think about it anymore. Today, you will not be able to get out of the Yuan family alive. Yuan Jin kept his composure. He knew that as long as he waited for a while, the other Sea of Souls realm warriors of the Yuan family would arrive, and his main goal was to take down Murong Jishirei. Murong Jishirei sneered, with the two of you teaming up, I indeed would not be able to win. But, if you want to take me down, it would be impossible. He and Yuan Jin were more or less the same. Adding on a normal Sea of Souls realm master level warrior, they might be able to make him suffer a bit. But, if he wanted to leave, they would not be able to stop him either. Do you really think so? Yuan Jin's speed was like lightning as he continued to attack while the master-level Sea of Souls realm warrior who was teaming up with him helped out on the side. Down below, the plaza of the Yuan family was full of holes, and most of the buildings around had been destroyed as well. From time to time, there would be warriors of the Yuan family flying over from a certain direction and joining the battle. Therefore, the number of warriors attacking the Yuan family was always around 30. This brat is powerful. Let the 5 of us work together to hold him off. With the Thunder Disaster Sword in his hand, Yi Chen was extremely powerful. Wherever he went, there would be blood rain and thunder light. Whenever the sword light flashed once, there would be people falling down with their hands covering their wounds. No one could stop him. Seeing that the warriors of the Yuan family would be heavily injured, the 5 top spirit warriors went up to fight against Yi Chen. They were the masters of the Yuan family, and their ranks were not low. Speed Sword Hell. If it were the gold sword performing the Speed Sword Hell, each sword shadow's power would only be equivalent to a normal Soul Realm warrior's full power attack. But, it was performed by the Thunder Disaster Sword, which increased the power to that of a spirit warrior's full power attack. Countless sword shadows spread out, looking like a blue ocean of light attacking out. And, Yi Chen was the source of that blue light ocean, the starting point of the attack. How could he perform this many sword shadows at the same time? Each of them is equivalent to a normal spirit warrior's full power attack. He might be able to block out 10 of them, but he might not be able to block out 20 or even 30. The 5 of them came with an aggressive aura, but they were leaving in a bad shape. Even the Yuan family warriors around them had been wounded by the sharp sword shadows. Brat, you dare. Another peak expert of Yuan clan rushed over from afar. This person was the 3rd-ranked elder of Yuan clan, named Yuan Lai. His weapon was a huge blade. The blade's body was as red as fire, and as soon as he slashed out, a fiery blade energy swept out in all directions. Kill. Yi Chen unsheathed the gold sword with his left hand and performed a cross slash with the Thunder Disaster Sword. The 2 sword lights, one straight and one reverse, seemed like a pair of executioner's hands as they went against the flaming blade energy. Not only did they split the blade energy apart, they even carried a lot of it to attack Yuan Lai. Damn it, when did this brat become a guru? No, that sword. Yuan Lai had seen Yi Chen's portrait before, so he could recognize him at a glance. In his impression, Yi Chen was still far from the master level, so it was impossible for him to be his opponent. At this moment, seeing the opponent's counterattack was so sharp that even part of his flame blade energy was swept back, he was shocked. After the initial shock, he immediately realized that it was the Thunder Disaster Sword that was causing trouble, and not Yi Chen's own strength. Bang! Yuan Lai was, after all, a Sea of Soul master, so it was impossible for him to be defeated in one strike. Holding the blade with both hands, he raised it horizontally like a reef on the shore, enduring the waves all year round, unmoving and steady like Mount Tai. The moment the sword light and flame blade energy arrived, they were deflected without the slightest injury. The semi-supreme grade sword is a waste in your hands. I'll take care of it for you. Let go. With a shake of his body, Yuan Lai's aura changed from that of a reef to that of a volcano. His body contained an extremely frightening flame power. Holding the blade with both hands, he slashed 18 times toward Yi Chen. Each slash was extremely powerful, and the scorching blade wind melted the potholed ground into crystals. Sword light flight art. A sword light flickered outside Yi Chen's body, and he instantly arrived in the sky. The gold sword had long since returned to its scabbard. The thunder disaster sword in his hand was like a wriggling lightning as it slashed toward Yuan Lai below. The sword light sliced through the space, creating ripples like water. What a fast speed! Yuan Lai had just returned to Yuan clan, so he didn't know that Yi Chen still had this ace up his sleeve. His blade energy missed, but his figure flickered as well. With a speed as explosive as fire, he dodged Yi Chen's strongest sword strike. Yen, the movement technique contains the profound of fire. Yi Chen's brows creased. Among the major attributes, thunder and wind held the advantage in terms of speed. However, this was only under normal circumstances. Powerful experts could dig out other attributes that could aid in speed. For example, fire was the fastest when it burst out. Of course, it couldn't last as long as thunder and wind, so it could only burst out for a short period of time. Kid Yi, I'm the third elder of Yuan clan. Do you think you can defeat me? Yuan Lai appeared behind Yi Chen. He stretched out his left hand, and a scarlet whirlpool shot out. The whirlpool contained a powerful suction force, pulling the air like blades as it tried to pull Yi Chen over. Yi Chen knew that although Yuan Lai wasn't as powerful as Yuan Jin, he was still a powerful Sea of Soul Master level expert. Ordinary Master level experts couldn't compare to him. Wanting to defeat him in a short period of time was indeed impossible. However, at this moment, there was no way out. Even if he couldn't fight, he had to. Gold resonant radiance. The intense battle intent caused Yi Chen's aura to become as sharp as a sword. At this critical moment, he had comprehended the gold resonant radiance to greater completion. 90% completion and greater completion seemed to only be 10% difference, but the effect was completely different. 90% completion meant that there were still flaws, while greater completion meant complete perfection. Be it sword aura or sword energy, they couldn't be mentioned in the same breath. Chop! The thunder disaster sword was dyed with a layer of gold as Yi Chen's sword slashed across the sky. Puff! The scarlet whirlpool was split into two, and the dazzling golden sawtooth sword light carried an unstoppable sword aura as it shot toward Yuan Lai. What? Breakthrough in battle. Yuan Lai was stunned. It was rumored that there were some geniuses who were good at fighting. The more they fought, the stronger they would become. They would often be able to break through their bottlenecks under extreme pressure and advance a step further. Against such geniuses, a slight advantage wasn't considered an advantage, because the opponent could instantly turn this advantage into nothing. The opponent's advantage would only make him stronger, it would be his stepping stone. Bastard! You dare to use me as a stepping stone? Yuan Lai was enraged. He slashed out with a fiery aura and a fiery blade aura. His entire body seemed like a flaming blade, imposing and tyrannical. Rumble. The sword light and blade energy collided, and the ground within several li surged like waves in the sea. Soon after, beams of sword light and blade energy soared into the sky, turning the area into a blade and sword hell. Be it Yuan clan's experts or Murong clan's experts, they all stopped. They discovered that this sword light and blade energy had a killing power that could pierce through their protective Jinyuan. As for the area several li away, it seemed to be separated by an invisible qi wall. As soon as the surging ground reached there, it was pushed back. It was the Yuan clan's demonic human king, protecting the clan's buildings from being damaged. Only the plaza and the surrounding area were left as the battleground. Of course, although the demonic human king of Yuan clan could instantly kill anyone here, it was precisely because he was a demonic human king that he could not make a move. He could not even enter the battlefield. Yi Chen was a genius favored by the Dragon King. If they made a move, the Dragon King might personally pay a visit to the Yuan clan in the future. It was fine if the Yuan clan bullied him with numbers, but even a demonic human king was making a move. It was clear that the Yuan clan did not put him in their eyes. Junior brother Yi is too ferocious. Almost all of the Murong clan's experts were injured, but Wang Shi and Yang Kuei were unscathed. After all, they were Dragon God Celestial Palace's people, and the Yuan clan's experts wouldn't dare to do anything to them. At most, they could only hold them back and prevent them from supporting others. Su Ruhui nodded. He is indeed a dragon among men, a sword Dao genius. After saying these words, her brows creased. In the sky, Murong Jishui was being pushed back again and again. Under the joint attack of 2 Sea of Soul Realm Masters, it was already not easy for him to hold on until now. Murong Jishui, surrender. Otherwise, you'll be buried here today. Yuan Jin's fist shot out countless golden blades, slicing through the void. In your dreams. Murong Jishui resisted with all his might, pushing his strength to the limit. Rumble. On one side, Yi Chen was facing Yuan Lai, while on the other side, Yuan Jin and the Yuan clan's elders were facing Murong Jishui. The two battlefields were crisscrossing, and the space rippled like water. The others temporarily stopped and raised their heads to watch. All of you, stop. Right at this moment, a loud roar came from outside the Yuan clan. This roar was majestic and powerful, as if the voice had condensed into steel and was forcibly transmitted into everyone's ears. Those with slightly lower cultivation base paled and felt dizzy, while those with higher cultivation base revealed astonished expressions. Palace leader. Yarrow Ifeng suddenly raised his head and looked outside the Yuan clan's gate. Palace leader has arrived. Wang Shi and Yang Kuei were overjoyed. Although they were a bit surprised that the palace leader had arrived so quickly, it was still a good thing. Swish, swish, swish. 3 silhouettes dashed over and appeared on the square. The person in the lead was a burly man in his 50s. He wore a yellow robe that was embroidered with an angry dragon that was baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. Still not stopping. The yellow-robed middle-aged man waved his wide sleeves, slapping 2 palms toward the 2 battlefields in the sky. Ang! The ferocious palm energy brought with it a loud vibrating sound. Yi Chen and Yuan Lai only felt a powerful pressure, and they couldn't help but retreat. On the other side, Yuan Jin and Murong Jishui also stopped. Under this ferocious palm energy, they didn't feel any better. So powerful. Yi Chen's pupils shrank. The yellow-robed middle-aged man was clearly a Sea of Soul master. But, be it Yuan Jin or Yuan Lai, neither of them was half as strong as him. A mere palm attack from a distance was enough to separate them, and the aftershock of the palm energy caused his blood and qi to boil. Seeing the yellow-robed middle-aged man, Yuan Jin's complexion changed. He descended from the sky and cupped his fists. So, it's palace leader Zhong. This one is Yuan clan's great elder, Yuan Jin. What's going on? The yellow-robed middle-aged man was precisely Dragon God Celestial Palace's Yellow Dragon Palace's palace leader Zhong Zhengguang. After receiving the message from Wang Shi and Yang Kuei, he had rushed through the night and arrived at Yuan clan. Before entering seclusion, palace leader had instructed him to nurture Yi Chen as the future palace leader. Of course, it might not necessarily be Yellow Dragon Palace leader. Chapter 557. The leader of the Murong family, Murong Jishui, has offended my Yuan family. In order to protect the dignity of my family, I am trying to capture him. Yuan Jin was quite apprehensive of Zhong Zhengguang. Although the latter was not a famous Sea of Souls realm master-level warrior, he was still a top master-level warrior. The gap between them was not 1,000, but at least 800. Even 2 of them would not be his opponent. Most importantly, the latter was the leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace. Since he could not get along with Yi Chen, it could be said that Yi Chen was not a member of the Dragon God Celestial Palace. However, Zhong Zhenguang was clearly a member of the Dragon God Celestial Palace. Moreover, he was one of the upper echelons, the leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace. Zhong Zhenguang turned his head and looked at Yi Chen. Then what's the matter with Yi Chen exchanging blows with him? Don't your people know that Yi Chen is a genius favored by Palace Master? Or perhaps, you don't put my Palace Master in your eyes at all. That's why you're acting so unbridled and acting as you please. Zhong Zhenguang was obviously biased toward Yi Chen, going straight to the point. Leader. Yao Yifeng was anxious. If Zhong Zhenguang was biased toward Yi Chen, then he would not have a good ending. It was the opposite of his original plan. In fact, Zhong Zhenguang's arrival was out of his expectation, catching him off guard. You shut up. Zhong Zhenguang glared at Yao Yifeng. He had already learned the whole story from Wang Shi and Yang Kuei. Yao Yifeng's actions had made him very angry. Yi Chen was a martial genius valued by the Palace Master, but Yao Yifeng had treated him like this. It was simply too lawless, thinking too highly of himself. Yao Yifeng swallowed back the words he was about to say. He then vaguely glanced at Yi Chen, a trace of killing intent appearing in the depths of his pupils. Yuan Jin saw Zhong Zhenguang's attitude toward Yao Yifeng, and his brows creased even more. Yi Chen's relationship with the Murong family is not shallow. Therefore, he tried to stop our Yuan family from capturing Murong Jishirei. Yuan Lai went up to stall him, not to make things difficult for him. Yang Kuei sneered, Elder Yuan, your ability to lie through your teeth is indeed impressive. I won't mention the matter of Mo Luo Sneak attacking junior brother Yi, since you wouldn't admit it even if I told you. Afterward, I heard your clansman asking junior brother Yi to kneel down and apologize, and if he didn't, he wouldn't be allowed to leave. Then, your son and junior brother Yi had a fair competition, and because your son was injured, you attacked out of anger, saying that you would teach junior brother Yi a lesson for our Dragon God Celestial Palace. Oh, there is such a thing. Zhong Zhenguang narrowed his eyes. Yuan Jin was quite angered by Yang Kuei, but he braced himself and said, Today is, after all, my son's wedding day. Yi Chen and the Murong family's people came to cause trouble. Our Yuan family couldn't just sit back and do nothing. Therefore, some hot-blooded actions were unavoidable. Glancing at the two towers of Yuan family, Zhong Zhenguang said, All right, I don't care what happened during this period. I'm taking Yi Chen away now. Do you have any objections? Of course not. Even if Yuan Jin hated Yi Chen to the bone, he wouldn't dare to say anything. He was very clear that if he went against Zhong Zhenguang, his family would very likely abandon him. The family could support him in the dark, but they wouldn't allow him to do so openly. Yi Chen cupped his fists and said, Greetings, Hall Leader Zhong. Zhong Zhenguang faintly smiled and nodded, Not bad. Although you're relying on a half-step extreme-grade sword, you can contend against a master-level expert of the Yuan family and even gain a slight advantage. This kind of strength is even above Li Xiaoling. Thank you for your praise, Hall Leader Zhong. Yi Chen continued, The Murong family is Yi Chen's friend. As friends, we should advance and retreat together. His meaning was that if he left, the Murong family's people would also have to leave. Hearing these words, Zhong Zhenguang turned his head toward Yuan Jin and said, In that case, I'll take the Murong family's people as well. Otherwise, I won't be able to take Yi Chen. This is not appropriate, right? Yuan Jin's complexion turned gloomy. What? You don't want to? Zhong Zhenguang's complexion also turned gloomy. Murong Jishirei has offended my Yuan family. If we let him leave like this, what dignity does my Yuan family have? Others can leave, but not him. I heard that you forced his daughter first. So what if he's hot-blooded? I'll be taking him away. You don't need to see me off. Zhong Zhenguang's figure was tall and sturdy, and his words were even more domineering. Yuan Jin tightened his fists and said in a low voice, Hall Leader Zhong, this is my demonic clan's matter. I ask you not to interfere. So what if I interfere? Yuan Jin's eyes turned sharp. Hall Leader Zhong, respect is mutual. I ask you not to force me. Zhong Zhenguang looked straight at Yuan Jin and suddenly burst into laughter. Force you? What qualifications do you have for me to force you? If I force you, what are you going to do? Send out experts to kill me? It's not that I'm looking down on you or your Yuan family. I alone am enough to contend against all the experts of your Yuan family. If you don't believe me, you can try. It was unrealistic for one person to contend against all the Sea of Soul Realm experts of Yuan family. However, Zhong Zhenguang still had confidence in the few experts present. Yuan Jin's complexion turned extremely unsightly. Blue veins popped out on his forehead. Humiliation, absolute humiliation. Yuan Jin had never suffered such humiliation before. What do you think? I don't mind warming up a bit. Zhong Zhenguang's expression was very relaxed. Jinna, let them go. Just as Yuan Jin was feeling extremely humiliated, a voice entered his ears. It was a demonic human king of Yuan family. Old ancestor has spoken. Yuan Jin was startled, but he immediately clenched his teeth and said, as Hall Leader Zhong wishes. Hall Leader Zhong. Seeing that Zhong Zhenguang was about to leave with Murong family's people, Murong Jishui was naturally happy. However, there was something that worried him even more. What is it? Zhong Zhenguang looked at Murong Jishui. Yi Chen spoke in place of Murong Jishui. Hall Leader Zhong, Yuan family has poisoned Uncle Murong's wife. Uncle Murong wants to ask if Yuan family has the antidote. Poisoned? Zhong Zhenguang was somewhat astonished. He truly didn't expect Yuan family to do something like poisoning. Moreover, it was brought out in the open. This was truly a great loss of face. Hall Leader Zhong, there is only one antidote, and it has already been destroyed by me. There is no second antidote. Yuan Jin coldly said. You really destroyed it. Murong Jishui had some hope in his heart. He hoped that Yuan Jin's destruction was fake. Of course it's destroyed. Yuan Jin was a bit pleased. Shadowless poison was one of the rare poisons under the heavens, and the ingredients to concoct it were extremely hard to find. Otherwise, Yuan family wouldn't only have one antidote. It should be known that this thing was even rarer than the 3 calamity bewitching powder. Since there is no antidote, let's go. Zhong Zhenguang didn't want to know whether Yuan Jin had the antidote or not, because it made no difference. If the other party didn't want to hand it over, he wouldn't be able to do anything unless he was a life and death king. Only a king's request would the other party not dare to resist, unless they wanted to be exterminated. Jishui, let's go. Let's go back and think of something. Su Ruhui, on the other hand, was quite open-minded as she consoled Murong Jishui. Murong Jishui silently nodded. Waiting until Zhong Zhenguang, Yi Chen, and the rest left, Yuan Jin sucked in a deep breath and suddenly slammed his palm on the potholed plaza. With a peng sound, a crack appeared on the plaza. Today, Yuan family could be said to have suffered a double loss. They had become the laughingstock of everyone present, and he, Yuan Jin, was even more of a laughingstock. In the main hall of Yellow Dragon Palace, Zhong Zhenguang sat on the main seat while Yaroifeng, Yi Chen, and the rest sat below. As for the Murong family's people, they were arranged to stay in other buildings. Yaroifeng, do you know your crime? Zhong Zhenguang coldly looked at Yaroifeng below. Yaroifeng still wanted to argue. Leader, Yi Chen is causing trouble everywhere. Sooner or later, he will bring trouble to our Dragon God Celestial Palace. Yaroifeng is thinking for the sake of the Dragon God Celestial Palace. Leader, please investigate this. Investigate? Investigate you? Leader, Yaroifeng's heart was filled with fear and anger. It was all because of Yi Chen. It was all Yi Chen's fault. Without him, he wouldn't have to suffer. If he didn't have a good time, Yi Chen wouldn't have a good time either. Your matter, come back with me. Wang Shuo, after Yaroifeng leaves, you will temporarily take charge of the Yellow Dragon Palace. Yang Kuei, you will assist him. I will send a new deputy after a while. Zhong Zhenguang didn't want to waste any more words with Yaroifeng. What kind of person was Yi Chen? He was the future savior of the Dragon God Celestial Palace. He was very clear about the palace's current situation, and it was truly urgent. They were waiting for a genius to fully mature, and Yi Chen was undoubtedly the most promising one among them. Yaroifeng actually dared to target Yi Chen. If Yi Chen became hostile toward the palace because of this, even 100 Yaroifengs wouldn't be enough. Fortunately, Wang Shi and Yang Kuei had informed him in time. Otherwise, it would truly be a big deal. What? Yao Ifeng didn't dare to believe his ears. He was going to be stripped of his deputy position? He was going to be replaced by a new deputy just because he had treated Yi Chen unfairly? Leader, although Yao Ifeng is guilty, it is not to this extent. Yao Ifeng may not have contributed much to the palace, but he has worked hard. I, Yao Ifeng, am not satisfied with this punishment. Yao Ifeng was somewhat hysterical. Zhong Zhengguang coldly snorted, not satisfied? Come back with me, and you'll be satisfied. Yellow dragon sealing great art. Abruptly standing up, Zhong Zhengguang tossed out a yellow ball of light. The ball floated before his chest. He formed a seal with both hands, and with a rumble, the entire yellow dragon palace branch trembled. Soon after, the shadow of a yellow dragon rushed out of the ball of light, appearing above Yao Ifeng and enveloping him within. Ah! Yao Ifeng wanted to escape from the yellow dragon shadow, but in the next moment, dozens of light dots flickered on its body. The moment they appeared, the yellow dragon shadow rapidly shrunk and entered Yao Ifeng's body. My Jin Yuan, and my physical strength. Yao Ifeng discovered that he was unable to use Jin Yuan. Even his meridians had been sealed, and his body was limp and powerless. It was as if there was a yellow dragon coiling inside his body, constantly devouring his Jin Yuan and blood qi. Without these two, he could only use his martial will. However, without the support of blood qi, his martial will would gradually weaken. It should be known that the soul and the body were connected. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.